drown you. Don't let it kill you. Come out of it, and then let's build a better world.
And personalities that fascinate you.
So them fit no, I serve a living God.
3 hours of interesting conversations that involve you every Saturday, only on Channels Television. In the world of diplomacy and international relations, unsaid conversations are just as important as what is said.
Donald Trump believes that as a president, he has all the powers.
How it's said.
International community will normally frown at any violation of human rights.
To whom it said.
There are people who have left their countries because the system has left them with no other option.
And the reactions.
We are going to face a massive ecological and humanitarian crisis.
In-depth analysis on the what, how, and why on Diplomatic Channel, weekdays at these times.
It's a sign of the times. A reflection of conversations from the streets to the halls.
Interesting collection you have here. Thank you.
That get to the walls. If they could talk. See and hear the limitless creative.
So I think the moral of it is that when you make a vow, you must ensure that you fulfill it.
On Art House.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. This is Sunrise and I am Alero Edu.
I'm Ayo Makinde. I say good morning to the program today. I want to believe that you have had your cocoa.
Or your cocoa.
Okay. Well, in case you are asking, we know you. You work in advertising. Have you had your cocoa this morning? Well, don't look at me that way. I'm just asking him. Unfortunately, you can't call in on the show because we eliminated that because we know that you're going to
retort.
Exactly. So let's leave that one out for now.
Well, sorry I missed you guys last week.
Oh, yeah, she did. Every
11.
Yeah, every time we have elections, she runs away. I don't know why.
Yes, she does.
I don't know why she has to do that all the time. You know, so I don't know why she has to do that. And my producer is complaining that
is the nature of my job.
Yes, my producer is saying that my Englishing is a lot this morning. I'm Englishing.
Oyinbo is plenty.
But I am Englishing, so...
At those elections, I don't know what we're going to do in this country. But for as long as elective office is made as attractive as it is in Nigeria, people will beg, borrow, steal, kill to get there.
So yesterday, I had the privilege of being at a meeting. And we do this every time, right? After every election cycle, asking for electoral reforms. I don't know any government that didn't call for electoral reforms.
Sweetheart, who are those who are going to cause the reforms? And who are those benefiting from all this malfeasance?
Don't provoke it.
I should not provoke.
So I was
Take a deep breath, woman.
As that young lady said, that boy said, Mommy, be coming
down.
So I was at this meeting, and it's the meeting of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly on Electoral Matters. That's what they are called now. They are looking at how to make things better in the electoral system and everything. So I had a chance conversation with the chairman of the Senate committee, who is the chairman of the Joint Committee on Electoral Matters. I said, you guys do this all the time. This was private. You guys do this all the time. What's going to make this different? Said they're going to make this different by going to the very roots of our elections. They're going to go as low as the polling units to find out things that we need to do differently. I hadn't heard that before, that they will go that low. So when in his opening address, he didn't mention it. I said, I said it because I also happen to have hosted the event. I said, oh God, they try keep secrets of honor. It get joker, you know. For me, what is important is, are we being honest with ourselves? Let's begin from there.
Capital N-O.
See, Markwe went to Liberia for the election coverage.
Yes, observer.
And one thing she came back with is the ownership of the process that the people took. Why? They have recent memory of a war, a destructive war that they don't want anymore.
Yeah.
So from time to time, when we have this conversation with people, I'm asking, I didn't see the war. I was born during the war. But for those who saw the war, do they want to go back there?
Yeah. And if they do, they are on the right road.
No, they don't want to go back there.
Oh, are you sure?
I am very sure.
So why do they do the things that they do?
Because they have people who will follow. Their agenda is short term. Most young people didn't see the war. They didn't see the destruction of the war. They didn't see the effects of the war. And they don't have memory of the war. Because, for God's sake, please, who's telling the war story, the civil war story in the country? I've spoken with one or two historians and researchers who say we don't have a single narrative for the civil war in Nigeria. We don't have one single narrative. It depends on who is telling it. And that is something that is terribly wrong.
Well, what we all do know is that there was a war.
At least there was a war.
Yes.
So what
we all
led
agreed
to
on
it?
that.
What led to it?
Yeah.
And how do we ensure we don't go back there? That question hasn't been answered. There are people who probably are still aggrieved. I don't know how this whole thing, revolves around electoral reforms, but it goes back to the fact that young people need to be told the right stories, given the right narratives, so that they don't just go with whatever the narrative is. People don't research, people don't read. And there are those who, any narrative is good. And that is unfair and it is dangerous. So let's agree. Do we want democracy or we want, we want monarchy? If you want monarchy, then there is something wrong with our leadership culture. Because even today, the monarchs are selected by Democrats, so to speak. It's not like in the UK.
And even those who have monarchies, remember the day that King Charles was crowned? Not my king, not my king. Even they don't seem to want a monarchy anymore. So which kind of government is really good? You have to now home grow yours and determine which one is good for you. Already, democracy as practiced in America may not be the best thing for us. Because we have other ideas as to how elections should be conducted. We're still deeply in this culture of vote buying, and then the use of poverty as a weapon. We have weaponized it.
I also did some search yesterday when we were having when we were editorializing on the Daily Show, and we realized that the reason for insecurity, taken from what Malam Nuhu Ribadu said, the reason for insecurity in the country, what is it? Just
poverty.
What you said. Poverty. In fact, Chief Obasanjo just said he was informed by the founders of Boko Haram that the reason for insecurity is poverty,
joblessness,
and unemployment.
Unemployment. Yeah.
Those two reasons. So when the NSA says we've dealt with insecurity, we've made progress, have we dealt with those ones?
Well, with what the president is doing now, this drive to get foreign investments in and stuff like that, it is the hope that industries will begin to come up again and our unemployment figures will improve.
I say amen.
Amen.
But don't forget.
I say amen too.
Don't forget, that was one of the primary agenda of the Obasanjo government.
That Obasanjo was hardly in the country in the first 12 months of being our president. Yes.
So, what has that produced, please? Subsequently? Because our challenge,
as I was writing,
our challenge is sustainability. So when you say, Samademi was talking on our program, and he said, look, 4 years will never be enough for anyone to achieve anything.
Yeah.
No one can disagree with that. So what culture do we have of sustainability? I keep asking the question, where are we going? What is the national vision? When we have a national vision...
We talk about that all the time.
We won't stop talking about it.
Where is the vision? Where is the vision?
Some people will tell you that the vision is in the national anthem. Some people will say it's in the national pledge. I'm looking for it.
Still can't find it.
I'm looking for the vision statement. To be a nation of primary agriculture, whatever it is that we want to say. I want to see.
And put a time frame to it.
So that the young one can say, okay, this is the Nigeria.
Put a time frame. By this year.
I'm expecting. Exactly.
Our vision is to be this kind of country.
What's his name? Fela Durotoye came up with one, I think about almost 20 years ago. He said he's looking for a Nigeria that will be the most sought after country for something. I don't remember what it was. By year 2025.
2025 is 2 years from now.
No, please, 1 year shy.
Okay, sorry.
This is November.
Sorry. Sorry.
So,
but guess what? You're 5 weeks away from Christmas.
Oh.
This year is grinding to an end very, very quickly.
Well, what interests me about what you just said now is that it's 2 days before Christmas, we're going to have DSS. Yes.
DSS.
Some people are going to be arrested here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no marks for guessing the kinds of people who are going to be arrested.
No.
If you were with us last year.
And it's going to be an arrest. Please listen. Our own DSS here is going to arrest some people. Make of that what you want. Thank you very much.
We are going to start by looking at the EMBA months, road safety measures. We're nearing that time when a lot of Nigerians move around to spend time with family and friends. So we're going to give you tips as to how to stay safe.
Yeah, especially now that some major roads are very nice. HPV vaccine misconceptions. What does that mean?
Oh, well, we're talking misconceptions a lot this morning. Misconceptions about estate planning, next of kin.
Our lifestyle is also about misconception. Lifestyle today is going to be about preventive medicine for youth. I don't think you can just eat anything and get away with it.
Because it is Christmas period.
Exactly.
Okay, and we shall close with the Artist of the Week segment as is usual. And all I will reveal this at this point in time is that he is a he.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, in case you haven't heard you had your cocoa.
Or your cocoa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now's a good time.
Good. We'll be right back.
We must stand for Nigeria. I believe, Nigeria.
Wishing on a star to take me where you are. I'm wishing on a dream, no matter how far it seems. Everywhere I go, to see the love and flow, in unity to stand forth, from south up to the north.
Yourself now, pick up on you. Anybody cause a problem now, make them kaput. Stand together now, people no fighting. One love is what we are preaching. Let's upgrade our understanding and stop this nonsense, political doubting. That's potential, demand capacity, let's walk the walk, let's show the world. Say our head, yeah. Let's stand up for something, fight for the right thing, for whatever, moving for the future. Cause I believe in this entity called Nigeria. I believe.
Peace and unity. One Nigeria, one nation. Let's be very widespread. One nation. Let's be
We should live like sister and brother. Find a way to love each other. One love, one life, one Nigeria. If we stand as one, oh my job. Unity will only make us stronger. Don't let them divide us any longer. Cause there are no bad tribes, only bad people. No north and south, good versus evil. Only when there's love can there be no cause to fight.
Thank you for joining us. Now we are heading towards the end of November, which means that Christmas is around the corner, a time when all over the world people like to spend time with their families. Schools will soon break up, so holidays. People will take leave just so that they can travel over the Christmas period.
And businesses will close down for the year.
Businesses will close down as well so that people can travel. But wait for these stats, which I find very scary. About 4,387 lives were lost due to road traffic accidents in Nigeria during the first 6 months of this year. 4,387 lives.
In 6 months.
In 6 months. This figure translates to an average of 731 fatalities each month, or about 24 lives daily. Every day in this country, 24 people die in road traffic accidents. These are scary figures. The FRSC says factors that contribute to these include night trips, fatigue, route violation, those who drive one way, as we know it here, dangerous overtaking, the use of worn-out tires, overspeeding. All those contribute to these accidents we're talking about. Well, to look at this with us this morning and to proffer, well, even if only temporary solutions that will help us through this season when many of us are going to be on the roads, it's my pleasure to welcome Professor Samuel Odebumi, Professor of Transport Planning and Policy.
My pleasure to be here, to be part of the discussion to reduce the carnage on our roads.
And also with us is the Corps Commander, Babatunde Farindoye, FRC Lagos Sector Commander. Good morning.
Good morning.
And joining us from Abuja is the Executive Director of the Center of Sustainable Mobility and Access Development, Dr. Kayode Okwefa. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Alero. Good morning, Ayo.
Oh, my God.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Your face is not looking like the Mr. Okwefa that we know. Is it as a result of the figures which I just reeled out?
No. You will soon pick the mood now.
Oh, dear.
He will pick up soon.
Dr. Okwefa. Anyway, let me start with the Corps Commander. Commander, sir.
I'm maintaining my lane.
Okay. That's allowed. I mean, most of the traffic seems to be going out of Lagos during this period. People who live in Lagos essentially want to go out of Lagos for the Christmas holidays. How do you think that the carnage can be reduced, especially for those going out of Lagos? Even though we're looking at this topic generally, we're trying to reduce it for the whole nation. Give us some tips.
Yeah, thank you very much. Lagos is like a country in a country, because the population of people coming and going out of Lagos on a daily basis is about 50,000 people. So,
every day?
Every day.
Wow.
About 50,000 vehicles moving in and out of Lagos on a daily basis.
And it will increase during the Yuletide?
It will definitely increase. But the number of people that will be going out during the Yuletide will be more than the people that will be coming in. Because people will be going back to their country home to celebrate with their relations. So during this period, we will expect that socio-economic activity will be at its peak. And what we in FRSC we are advocating is for people to plan ahead of time, so they will not be under pressure. Plan your journey ahead of time so as not to be under pressure. Then another thing is, in Lagos, presently, Lagos State government have been trying to put us on palliatives to ensure that the roads they're okay. Those palliatives that they are doing will assist us to ensure free flow of traffic. And we, as the personnel traffic managers, want to ensure that we increase our monitoring and traffic management to ensure that people are moving freely. There will be no congestion. There should be no congestion because we put up what we call route lining. We will do traffic management to ensure that the traffic is moving. With the number of traffic we have, road safety cannot do it alone. We have LASMA, we have the VIS, we have the police, we have the NSCDC. All of us will come together, and this we have been planning ahead of time to ensure that during this period there's free flow of traffic in Lagos.
Okay, I wanted to just ask, what are some of the habits that you and your men have observed that have led to some of the unfortunate incidents that we've seen in our country? Habits.
Yes. See, the main thing we need to change the narratives on ground is attitudinal change. We need to change our attitude, change our habits. Some of the habits, one is that we have, like I know this week, I was coming back from Ogun State, I saw some uniformed men standing around this corridor, Lagos Expressway, looking for commercial vehicle to escort into the city. This will hinder proper checks. This will make people to contravene traffic rules, because you give them the infantry because they are carrying uniform man inside the vehicle. We have police, we have even road safety. I called one of our operatives and I arrested him there, very close to Mountain of Fire. So others are also doing. If all the other organizations will try to monitor their men and be arresting them, I think this will reduce. That's one of the things. Impunity will set in, because if you are carrying a uniform man, you will believe that you are covered. A fellow uniform man will want to observe what we call esprit de corps, so we allow him to pass. In that situation, proper check will not be done. That person becomes a security risk because we don't even know what is inside the vehicle. And then any infraction, traffic infraction committed, must be overlooked. That's one thing that we need to talk about. Then the impunity on the part of what we call the people we call cream de cream of the society, the high and the mighty. Some of them, because they are high profile people, will be driving against traffic because they're in convoy. Some of them will even cover the number plate. That's another thing. People that are driving against traffic along this Lagos Expressway, they are constituting serious problem for traffic managers. That's another one. Another thing is speeding. People are in the habit of going above recommended speed limit. Although road safety has started enforcing the installation of speed limit device, at least to control the speed of vehicles, notwithstanding, it is just for the commercial vehicle for now.
What is the speed limit? A good number of people, I'm very sure, don't even know.
That is and we have different speed for different categories of vehicle on different categories of roads.
Okay.
We have the expressway, we have the
for the expressway, for instance, because the road looks very, especially Lagos by the way,
expressway, Lagos by the expressway, that is an expressway. It should not be more than 100 km/h for cars.
And SUVs?
For SUV belongs to the same category of car.
Okay.
Then for trucks, should be around 60. Like trailers should be around 60 km/h. Then tow trucks, the ones that are towing, should be around 45 km/h. Then the buses on the expressway, 90 km/h.
No.
Then on the highway, other highways, this single carriageway, it should be, for buses, should not be more than 80 km/h. So if we can observe these speed limits, then accidents will become a thing of the past.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Prof. Okay, please take notes. Take notes. Prof, you've listened to him. The thing pressing the most on my mind is that of habits, attitudes that he spoke about. How come those things, in spite of these risky, gory pictures, how come we seem to be retain our habits almost without even thinking about it?
Well, for the road crashes, we have three groups. If you want to unpack them, there are three variables. And I will not end without mentioning what should be done. We also unpack the three variables that you have to work out to check the first one. Now, three things: the environment, demand, the machine. Environment is about the list, because you talk of the road types, the road design, you know your $10 here. I mean, most of the frequent things that are happening there has to do with the road design and topography. Then environment.
On that one very quickly, what is wrong with that place?
The gradient. You see, when a trailer has to take that gradient and has to be bending at the same time, and you cannot enter it with a speed that will take you. So in most cases, it has to, because you know you are coming with a curve, then you enter it.
You're going down.
So you have to take it very slow. And by that time, the load is heavy. So, and I will not go to the second point, which has to do with the machine. Most of those machines are old machines that cannot carry the weight to take it through. So now environment, as I said, the road, the physical road, the topography, then the weather, whether it is raining heavily, the mist and all that. That's the list of the problem. Then the second one is the machine. What state is it? Is it been serviced? Then the mechanical issues, the brake, the steering, the tires especially. Now, if I will pick the most, let me pick two from each. For the environment, the weather is important for feasibility, because the mist, the cloud, and two, the topography. But for the machine, tires are very, very, very crucial. And when you have tires and speed, that is a terrible combination. It's always fatal when they load into themselves. So for the machine, the service, the age, the mechanical faults that I've mentioned, then the most critical of them.
We'll come to that most critical one.
Yeah.
On the machine, I thought there was a time the federal government banned certain age vehicles. Am I correct? Yes. So how come those ones are still on the roads?
When I'm discussing the solution, enforcement is the weakest link in the chain. So now the biggest culprit of because the other ones, if the man is properly wired, it could be an antidote to all the variables. It's training first. Did he have enough training? His state of mind? Is he picking alcohol then the pressure? So of all that is wrong with the man, I will pick three. I will pick his training before how he was licensed to operate the machine. Secondly, I will pick his state of mind. These days, many of them, he is in the field, are on drug of one form or the other. The least is alcohol these days. The least is alcohol. The third one is the mind. Pressure from the economic reasons, and that is the one that will escalate these environments. That's the only one, when it injects into it, they are under pressure, economic pressure, social pressure to deliver on time. So they now commit other things by not having time to service the vehicle. Then they overspeed in order to have a quick return. Then you now have amberman tragedies. So for the last part, which I said is the solution, let's talk 3 E's: education, enlightenment, and enforcement. Because if you do not enforce, like Boboye, the former commercial, say you are doing picnic. Eventually, what controls man is the degree of enforcement. That if I do this thing, I will be apprehended. So that is the layout.
You know, it goes back. Speak to us about that enforcement. Thankfully, the sector commander in Lagos is here, and Mr. Okwe is also here. Mr. Okwefa is also here. The vehicles were okay. Maybe I should take you to Mr. Okwefa. The vehicles I think it was the federal government that's banned some classes of vehicles from going on air, saying, look, this age of vehicles should not be allowed on the roads. I'm not sure, I remember now whether it's 15 years or 20 years old vehicles should not be on the roads. Okay, it's 20 years.
20 years.
Now, that is a vehicle is 20 years old, it shouldn't be on our roads. In other words, any vehicle that was made before 2003 should not be on Nigerian roads. How come we still have a situation where those vehicles are on our roads while we have various classes of traffic enforcement agencies at the federal and state levels?
Dr. Kwefa?
Oh, you can't hear me.
Okay, I'm not hearing you anymore, but hope you are hearing me, right?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Did you hear the question?
Okay, thank you. Let me start by paying my condolence to the close to 8,000 Nigerians who have died this year on the road. And let me also take this opportunity to mention that a friend of mine died just this Monday on Abuja Road in the evening when his vehicle, his taxi, collided with a stationary truck that broke down and was left on the road unattended to. So those are just some of the situations we have. But most importantly, may their soul rest in perfect peace. On your question, I am not aware, and I don't think so, that the government ever made any decision to restrict vehicles of certain age. At least I've been in this scene for the past, let me say, like 15 to 20 years. I'm not aware. And I don't think the government will make such position because it really doesn't make sense. What is important is the state of the vehicle, not more of the age of the vehicle. A vehicle that is 2020 could be not good for the road. And so it's not, and that's why you have the vehicle inspection services to do what it needs to do. So having said that, I also want to agree with the corps commander and the professor in Lagos on those issues they have highlighted. But let me add that there is now additional 2 E's to add to what should be. We now need to add engineering and engagement. Engineering, like Professor Odomi said, has to do with design of roads and intersection. He has mentioned Otedola, and what he did not tell you was that in 2010 or 2011, the Lagos State government engaged with Lagos State University, where he was teaching, not the dean then, and then the Lagos University of Lagos, and we did a transit study on that road, and got all the things you have mentioned. And for 5 years after that, there was no single accident at that point because all those issues were addressed. The issues that were not addressed is still there, and that is the exit from the Otedola estate that hits that road at 90 degrees, and that is what distracts the drivers coming down the hill. And that was, I believe, must be responsible for the last incident about a month or two ago. Also to mention on the issue of age of vehicle is that we should not fixate on the age. We should we should be concerned about the status, the vehicle, the state of the vehicle. And even if the state of the vehicle is good, if the road user, the driver, is not in good comportment or qualified to manage that vehicle, because 90% of these fatalities can be taken care of by the driver.
Well,
but let me
Dr.
say this
Kwefa,
before we go ahead.
It goes to the same issue, if you would permit me. For instance, one of the major issues that's been mentioned is, well, we'll still come back to, the sector commander in Lagos about the age of the vehicles that should be on the road or not. But talking about the enforcement that you mentioned, you talked about the vehicle inspection service. I'm a little, befuddled by the fact that we have them, yet the vehicles, especially in Lagos, I mean, I have been to Ibadan, I've been to parts of Ogun State, I've been to some parts of the north as well, and it will be like this is a major national problem of enforcement. But Lagos has been seen, as the sector commander said here, as a nation within a nation. So we have a vehicle inspection service, and people see some vehicles on the roads, and they see the vehicles that VIO officers stop, the vehicle inspection officers stop on the road, and I'm like, you let that one go, and you're accosting this one. What's the problem here? So speak to us about that one.
I agree. That takes us back to what the professor said. He mentioned enforcement, and I'm going to say enforcement. The problem here is systemic. We have a situation where the nation, and I want to say it here, that for every incident of road accident, injury, or death on the road, all of us are responsible, and we all share part of the responsibility. Recently, drivers in Lagos protested against the Traffic Management Authority, complaining of extortion. It's not extortion. They are complaining about too much enforcement. And I'm going to say to those traffic enforcement agents, please don't slow down. Enforce 10 times the more, because we need to get those rickety vehicles. We need to get those bad drivers. We need to get those people who are not ready to comply with the law. We need to get them off the road. So when I say system, is that we need to adopt a safer road safety systems, where we need to put up policies, regulations, laws, and put up a system that makes all the agencies of government, individuals, NGOs, civil society, everybody to be involved in the management of that system. Until we get to that stage, we'll continue to see all those rickety commercial vehicles on the road. We need to get them out of the road at any cost. We must not allow them. If somebody is driving a vehicle that is not supposed to be on the road, and for commercial purpose for that matter, it tells you that the man in himself is not okay. Probably he's on paraga, he's on drugs. So we need to put up a system that educates Nigerians from the level of GSS 3 to start understanding what road safety is all about. It's about everything. It's about all of us. The guy on the other road, you may be doing the right thing. If the guy on the other road is not doing the right thing, he can kill you. Yeah. And that's what happened to that, my friend. The vehicle was stationary on the road. His driver ran into it. The driver did not die. He died. So I think the system must wake up, not only Lagos, all the states in the federation must maintain the same standard. And that's where we get to Federal Safety Corps, because they have the responsibility by the Constitution, by the law. And they also have to wake up. They've done fantastically well, but they need to do more. They need to build systems and ensure that all states of the federation are complying with that system and that rules and regulation. And not just that Lagos. Lagos built a system. FCT built a system. Kaduna is building a system by their own. The FRSC, the apex organization responsible for road safety in Nigeria, and the Federal Ministry of Health, Federal Ministry of Transportation must also do something. They must ensure states are up to the same level, because a driver license from Lagos is qualified for you to drive anywhere in Nigeria. A driver license from another state in Nigeria that is not complying is qualified for you to drive in Nigeria. A road safety certification from any part of Nigeria is qualified to be acceptable in every part of Nigeria. Therefore, we must put up a system that sees road safety as one all over the world. That's the way they treat safety issues. It's national. It's not based on region or state and one state. Even Lagos is not at its best, as we have mentioned. If you still see those downfall, those kind of all those vehicles who are not up to standard. So as far as I'm concerned, the system is not okay, and we can do better.
Commander, how much cooperation is there between the road safety and other agencies such as the VIO, for instance? And I ask this because I have often seen commercial vehicles with what's this thing called now? Nylon as their rear screens. I have seen private cars with nylon as their rear screens. So even if the VIO says that they qualify and that they're roadworthy, when they drive past road safety, what happens? Does road safety allow them to go because they have certification by the VIO?
No. We actually, the aspect of vehicle inspection belongs to the VIS, that's Vehicle Inspection Service. Notwithstanding, FRSC booster vehicle inspection through our free vehicle safety checks. We do that every month. We check vehicles, there's a checklist that we will have to complete. And if any defect is seen in that vehicle, the owner of the vehicle will not be surcharged, it will not be fined.
How do you determine which vehicles to test like that?
No, we just stopped a vehicle, we do random check. We check random. Then there's work of VIS. We have a center, even office there at Ojodu. We call it Lagos State Vehicle Inspection Center, where people bring their vehicle before you can have your roadworthiness certificate. Yeah. People are coming and they are actually inspecting them. This one you are talking about, how they manage to escape this and still be on the road, is what Mr. Okwefa just said now. The other time, I think about 3 months back, we saw a vehicle moving in Ogun State with only 3 tires.
Yeah. That was on social media. So everybody saw that.
Our commercial had to give us a matching order to look we trace that vehicle. We're able to get where the vehicle was registered. We got the owner of the vehicle. The bankman said he has already sold it to another person, and then the thing continued. We're able to arrest the man eventually. How can somebody moving with 3 wheels?
That wasn't the first one.
Another person carrying canoe on the roof of the vehicle. We have been seeing things.
And a cow in front of an Okada rider.
So many, but we cannot always get them. It's not every time we can be getting all of them, but the one we can get, they are being brought to book. We don't compromise this issue of traffic violation.
Maybe you should make a bit more noise about it so that people get to hear and know that they cannot do such things.
Yes, part of the noise we are making is we don't just, FRC don't just enforce, we educate, we enlighten people. We go to church, we go to mosque, we go to parks, we go to, part of what we are doing, we do what we call domesticated public enlightenment. We take the thing to churches, to mosque, to worship center, to parks. Then we do what we call early morning safety cry. We go to the parks every morning to talk to both the passengers and the drivers and the transport unions, for them to understand the implication of certain things they are doing and the implication of certain they're supposed to do they have not done. Mm-hmm. And aside that, we still do go to what do you call it? We go to traditional institutions. We go to opinion leaders. We talk to opinion leaders, youth leaders. Let them know that working against the law will not do endemic good.
How much are you achieving with all this advocacy that you're doing? I mean, seeing as Prof. and Dr. Okwefa have said to us that most of them are on drugs. And alcohol is the least powerful of the kind of drugs that they're on. Yes, so who's checking those drivers?
Everybody's checking. We are always working with the NDLEA. We recently, BIA sectorial group, they carried out a rally. They have been doing the enlightenment for responsible drinking. When you want to drink, you don't need to drive, all those things. Those ones they're ongoing. But at the same time, we have breathalyzer with which we do test some of these drivers at the park before they even went back on journey. So we test them to see the level of alcohol in their blood.
As soon as they move from the park, they drive 10 kilometers, park, and have a little swing.
It's possible. It's possible. Like people have been saying, it's not only alcohol. We have some psychoactive substances, illicit substances that people are taking.
Tramadol.
That you cannot even. Then there are some you cannot even detect.
Oh wow.
Those are the problems we're having. Okay. But it is not enforcement this time around. But we need to sensitize them. We need to educate them.
Something you said earlier that Mr. Franklin, that someone is reacting to here. Bringing back. Lillian says in a mail that she sent to us, I want to bring to your attention the impunity of uniformed men who drive one way
against traffic
around the Jibo axis. I almost had a head-on collision with one of them as I was coming out of the road by Go Bus Park. He even had the authority asking me to clear from the way. These evil men are not above the law. They must be stopped.
You are right.
No, she's right.
Okay, she's right. I think we should respect the rule of law, whether you wear uniform or not.
Perhaps the question is in what Alera asked you earlier about collaboration with other agencies. We know road safety cannot do it all alone. For instance, I don't know if road safety has started carrying arms.
No.
Some of these people that she's talking about, they do carry arms. And they're driving against traffic and telling the person who is in the right way, get out of the road.
Get out of my way.
So, anyway, let me ask her, because I don't want it to be like I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, this comes down to the issue of education, enlightenment, enforcement. Those three things, and we are all involved. I always say I've come for the press today again. You see, the truth is, enlightenment, the most powerful agent of enlightenment of these people is the media.
Sir, on that, I agree with you. Yeah. Our job is to inform, educate, and enlighten. However, how do you enlighten someone who believes he knows?
Yeah.
Is it to say that a policeman or a gun-bearing agent does not know that this is bad, wrong even, against the law to drive against traffic?
For that particular one, it's now enforcement. Once there is sanction for infraction, look, anybody will tell you now in Lagos, there are cameras, some will do eyes all over the place. You violate getting your vehicle license on time. Just that day, you will get an alert. So there must be a way to enforce. But there is something peculiar about Lagos, which I want Lagosians and the Lagos state government to pay attention. Because of the large number which the commander mentioned, 5,000 daily, you will discover that the information has to be very, very, very constant because of those who are coming in who has not heard of Lagos laws. Therefore, we must find a way. I was having a discussion with one of the directors in the traffic radio that you have to do more. Because what you think, we have repeated these jingles, everybody will have known it. I said, no, there are now 5,000 coming again tomorrow to join who are ignorant of your laws. So in addition to that, signages in Lagos is not enough.
Sure.
Signages are not enough, especially construction site, road management logistics is inadequate. And this has to do with the firms, the contractors. They need to be told. This things you can't do anywhere you are constructing, you just discover that they just block the road, narrow the road without giving immediate alternative. Gridlock needs to be there because there is a traffic. So we need to really, then we too we are guilty for education, although for the Chartered Institute of Transport Administration, we are joining the FRC to go to the marketplace, to the park, and to enlighten. It can never be too much. we have to continue, because that's what can help us at the base. Then improving our licensing. There has been lots they have done in order to remove people getting it from their bedroom, to have training and retraining and retraining. Yeah. We cannot be satisfied. Then I want to mention one little factor about Lagos. I think, and if I may disagree with this, their fines are too heavy. That it brings corruption rather than bring compliance. Yes. You see, if for the FRC laws, they catch you, they are 10,000, 15,000, people can pay legitimately. They say you should pay, go and pay, and you get delayed, you watch television. But Lagos, the fines of Lagos State are too heavy. So people do become so desperate that they want to pay. For example, if your offense is...
They'd rather bribe.
That is it. They want to impound your vehicle. Fine. Yes. The only thing is to do all it takes to satisfy. You drive one way and they say, look, they should reduce the sanction for Lagos. But generally in the country, I think the federal government should, because what you did not say, which I want to say on behalf of the media, is that their airtime is not free. They use generator so let government pay for.
Management is proud of you.
Yeah. They are using their petrol to transmit, so they won't do it for free. Engage them, contract them, pay them to have a program for 30 minutes in a day, a strong platform like channels. If you repeat something on daily basis, just about even 5 to 10 minutes, not 30 minutes.
Please help me tell Mr. Farindoye.
Yeah, so I'm sure you have to contact them, but I'm sure Mr. Farindoye too will say, but you should have a budget for it. That's the most important thing.
Okay. Well, Mr. Okwefa, you listened to some of these things. Yes. Another person sent a mail, another mail, which you may want to respond to, Mr. Okwefa, and that's also, of course, talking about the road issues that we have been. I know you want to say a thing or two about the one we just heard. Cosmas Tobore says, in discussing road safety during the Ember months, the very first issue to be sorted is the bad roads that are in terrible states. Can you imagine? The bad roads are in terrible states. Any other measure can never be effective when the roads remain death traps. And I know that this is not an issue just for Lagos, it's something all over the nation. So you want to speak to that perhaps in winding down?
Okay, thank you very much. I think I want to agree with that fellow who sent in that question. And also to say that, I will repeat again, we need to build a system that prevents accidents, and that when accidents occur, the injuries will not be too much. And if there are injuries, there should be no deaths. And if there are injuries, there should be a system that will make sure that lives are saved. One, we need to build safer roads. Our roads, as it is currently, many are not safe. So we need to put in a system that does regular road safety audit. Road safety audit not by government employees, by people that are external, not by FRSC, by a third party to comply with the guidelines of FRSC. Number two, if you watch the roads on Nigerian roads now, if you watch Nigerian roads in the last 8 years, the last minister for works did a fantastic job by introducing signages, introducing lane marking. Our roads lack, like Professor said, lacks the feedback mechanism to be safe. No lane marking, no traffic signal light, no traffic signages, except for Lagos, Federal Capital Territory, and some of our federal roads that have been recently constructed. And maybe Kaduna State and some of us, not more than 10 states, are actually complying with putting signages on road. So we need to make our road to talk if we want to reduce accidents. Let me say here, road injuries is now regarded as a disease. 1.3 million people die annually from road accidents, more than the number of people that die from malaria. So you can imagine the number we have for Lagos, for Nigeria. By the time you just support that number against many of our diseases, road deaths are more than many of our diseases. And that's not including Okada. The figures you have probably does not have all the accidents in inner parts of our road and Okada. Then the third thing is what the professor was alluding to, the road users, safer road users. The driver licensing system at the level of the states is terrible. The motor vehicle administration system is terrible. We need to make sure that every state in Nigeria have a driver licensing and motor vehicle administration agency removed from the Board of Internal or Inland Revenue. It should agreed. It is a revenue item, but while we are going after the revenue, we must be concerned about the safety aspect. Apart from less than 10 states, I doubt if we have a proper driver licensing and the motor vehicle administration system in the country. Then on the issue of that also dovetails into the safer vehicles. Our vehicle inspection system has improved. Now we have computerized system. We must also commend the Federal Road Safety Corps for putting up a lot of guidelines, the National Road Safety Strategy and all those things. But the Road Safety Corps, the various ministries of transportation, all our governors must take road safety as a major. It is a health challenge. We are losing 3 to 5% of our annual GDP to road accidents. These are confirmed data by the World Health Organization, by the United Nations, by the World Economic Forum. So if we are to develop, if we are to save life, if we are to improve on productivity, we need to put much more interest on road safety. And in closing, I also want to say that we must take road traffic education. I'm not saying put it in the curriculum. I'm saying make it an extra co-curricular activity. From JSS 3, Nigerian students should be asked to do a term paper, something like go and write something about road safety. Let them just get used to it. If we cannot start at primary education, we should be. I know it's already in civic education. I'm familiar with the curriculum. It's already in social studies. But let's, at JSS 3, every Nigerian, regardless of which part of the country, should do a paper, should be asked to go and do investigation. You can do it on the internet or anywhere on road safety activity. Now, beyond that, the road safety clubs that started in schools must go back. We must go back to it. If we don't develop this attitude from childhood, early study age, we are going to mess up. Now, on the issue of drugs, believe me, nobody is doing any drug test, seriously now. The one we do at the park, to me, is good enough. It's good, but not good enough. We need to find a way to make sure that people who are on drugs don't get behind the wheel. And the way is to keep this enlightenment, education, and engagement. It is not the one that will go to the media.
All right, so let's quickly, we have quite a number of mails that have come in already. Udo sent this one, says, well, let me first of all read a few. Major reason for road carelessness is because our law enforcement agencies are too corrupt. I think someone said that earlier. Self-interest is the major reasons they are there. They are there not for anything. That's from Fola. I think that buttresses what you said the other time, Mr. Farinley. Another person says, one area we're looking away from is the tendency that jingle sensitization still gets to people who are not really the target audience. During sensitization, do you see addicts attending? And how many officers want to see these laws not broken? Mr. Farinley mentioned that earlier. It's more of what they can get from the area they were posted to man. So an officer is praying that the area will be asked to go. He'll be asked to go will be a place he can get his salary in one day. Until this ideology is stopped, harmonization is far. But this one is a direct question to you. It's from Udo. It says, please ask your guests, is vehicle inspections for private vehicles only? I have never seen a commercial vehicle in VIS stations. On FRSC, I've never seen FRSC personnel ensuring free flow of traffic other than stop and check. The sad part is that the FRSC vehicles are not roadworthy, oh dear, yet they are checking other vehicles. I don't think Udo is calling from Lagos. send this one from Lagos. You want to respond to that? First of all, the vehicle inspection.
Yes, the issue of...
In 1 minute, please. Yes. We've run completely out of time.
The issue of vehicle inspection. There is no way the vehicle will be certified roadworthy if it's not inspected. So I wouldn't know what he's talking about. Where he went to, that I did not see commercial vehicle being inspected. Then on the issue of road safety not doing, traffic control, it's making a mistake. In Lagos, we have Operation Orange Impact. When you see FRC men wearing reflective jacket, orange reflective jacket, and they line the routes to ensure free flow of traffic, during this consortium, you knew what we're doing. We did a very great job along this Lagos Expressway because...
Even if you say so yourself,
well,
never mind.
Yes,
I think it's safe to say that
we tried our best.
Oh no, you definitely are. I think it's safe to say that this is part one because really, perception is reality for some people.
Yes.
All the wonderful work that you have done, all the partnerships that you're getting, this is what people are getting. That's why they're sending. We don't usually get these mails this many. Right? Okay, but we'll close right now, but I'm supposed to read this one. Yes, and we just want to read. What is the justification for demanding roadworthiness while Lagos roads are not motorable? Igbe, Berigbe, Ijede are examples. Even the road that leads to VIO's office at Odogunyo is bad. None of you in this place can answer that question.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming to enlighten us this morning. Like he said, this is part one.
Yeah.
We're still about 5 weeks to Christmas. We will hope that we can talk about this again closer to the period when people actually start leaving town.
Especially on enlightenment and enforcement and education.
That's right.
All of us are involved.
Road safety.
And I want road safety to escalate.
We expect you to come on air and talk more about this. Use more jingles to make people aware of what they're supposed to do, how to get their cars ready for travel, and all that. Thank you very much for coming. The Corps Commander, Federal Road Safety Lagos Command, Mr. Babatunde Farindoye. And also with us this morning in the studio was Professor Odewumi, Professor of Transport Planning and Policy, and Dr. Kayode Okpeifa, a well-known face when it comes to transportation, joined us from Abuja, and he is now the Executive Director of the Center of Sustainable Mobility and Access Development. Thank you all very much, gentlemen, for joining us this morning. We hope to see you before Christmas.
Definitely. We'll be glad to be.
And for you at home, we hope that this has been beneficial to you, and at least you have a few tips as to how to prepare for your trips during these Ember months. Sunrise will be right back. Do stay with us.
Thanks for calling Bastion HMO.
Thank you. Now that was my health insurance partner. Yeah, I was just as skeptical as you were about health insurance until I tried Bastion HMO. I got a healthcare plan that's right for me and my family. I have access to top quality healthcare services and facilities. We also get access to over 1,700 hospitals and clinics. Call 0800 Bastion Health, the HMO that puts you in control.
Hi. Now let me tell you about Safari Valley Eco Resort, the first of its kind in West Africa. Upon your arrival, you are introduced to your butler, who plans your itinerary.
We were surrounded by wildlife from the moment we entered the eco park.
So many activities, all in the same premises. Visit the gym or the stables, they have it all. At my break, I'm able to practice my putting.
We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife and how to interact with them.
They used only electric vehicles here. This creates a serene environment. I'm told it's over 1,000 acres. My cabin here sits on 2 acres with a large terrace space overlooking my private swimming pool. Now this is royalty. They have their own farms, thousands of fruit trees. I can also have my lunch here at the waterfall. Quite a beautiful place you have here.
Visit Safari Valley Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
Take it
from me. The mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't. Cookie! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat the guy. We'll see about that.
It's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K.
Go.
And when you go for your dreams, it's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser. Or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and Roku.
Channels Television, ubiquitous.
Where's Glory?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hello?
Where Glow now?
I dare here.
Glow don't go village. Tell all our customer.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow dedicated 10x. Now he might they take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Or even summer me double data join. Yeah.
Wait, so with 1.5 when they give on the boss, so you they enjoy up to
15,000 naira credit and data. And I say I never finish you. See, now say if you enjoy, if you not join Glow dedicated 10x, when I go get 1,000 naira welcome credit. Finish.
Glow, you don't win.
Una see they here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow. Please save now Glow with the 5. Now Glow with the go. Okay, so
enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow Berekete 10X. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
All right, thank you for staying with us. And that's our next topic, by the way. In Nigeria, cervical cancer is the 3rd most common cancer and the 2nd most frequent cause of cancer deaths among women, especially those aged between 15 and 44 years. In 2020, the latest year for which data is available, Nigeria recorded, guess what? 12,000 new cases and 8,000 deaths from cervical cancer.
Why are we being so morbid today? Deaths. The first topic was deaths.
Our intention is to reduce the numbers, but let people not have the illusion that those things don't exist, because they do exist. Well, we understand, of course, that the human papilloma virus, the HPV vaccine, is most effective when given to girls and boys before they become sexually active. Who knows that? The federal government announced that it has vaccinated over 3.9 million Nigerian girls between ages 9 and 14 years with the HPV vaccine against cervical cancer since it rolled out vaccination exercise in October. It aims to reach 7.7 million girls in the targeted age group with a single dose of the vaccine. Let's have a conversation around this and a number of other issues with Dr. Ibrahim Akinwumi Mustafa, who is the Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Primary Healthcare Board. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
First of all, I don't know where to start, but let me start with this. Explain to those who are wondering what this whole noise is about. What is cervical cancer?
Okay, thank you very much. Cervical cancer is the cancer of the cervix. That is a malignant abnormal growth around the opening of the uterus. in females, of course. And it's as a result of the cells around this area undergoing malignant change. And once they undergo malignant change, they become cancerous, and anything can happen thereafter. You have all the symptoms and signs of cancers, and eventually leads to death. Okay.
Since we're talking definitions, let's stick with definitions.
Yes.
So what is HPV vaccine?
Okay. HPV simply means human papilloma virus vaccine.
Papilloma.
Yes. Now, it's a virus, and it's the commonest viral infection of the genital tract in females. Commonest viral infection. So it's essentially an STI. That's sexually transmitted infection. You don't see it in people that are not sexually exposed, you know. And this human papilloma virus is known to cause the transformation I talked about earlier in the cervical area that will lead to malignancy. Now, the good thing is that of virtually all cancers, cervical cancer caused by human papilloma virus is one that is easily preventable through the use of vaccines. Now, the vaccines available are known to protect against infection by human papilloma virus for people that have had that vaccine and have developed immunity against the human papilloma virus.
That has got my mind working overtime.
Yeah.
So if this vaccine is so efficient, how come it is only, we're being told about it now, in light of the figures which he reeled out when he was opening this segment, the number of infections, the number of deaths, the number of women who have had cervical cancer? So how come you're just coming out to tell us about it now? Is it a new vaccine?
It's not a new vaccine. It's been used since the 1960s abroad. And even in Nigeria here, people have been having it even before now. The well-to-do amongst us have been going to private hospitals to pay humongously to have themselves vaccinated. So it's not new. It's just that now the government has now decided to make human papilloma virus vaccine part of our routine immunization.
Okay.
Routine immunization, we have vaccination against tuberculosis, polio, diphtheria, and all of that. We want to make human papilloma virus vaccine as one of those that people would have as part of routine immunization in the country. And that's a global target. But now, what we're doing now is the introductory phase, is the introduction. We are introducing it to people.
You know, when children are young and they take those mandatory vaccines, they are documented. So will this be among those vaccines that will be on those 4 cards that the children carry?
Precisely. Precisely. But you know, those vaccines, you will know, were given at different ages.
Yes.
Some of them started from even
From
day
birth.
0. You know, from birth till
Then
6 weeks, 10
6
weeks, 14 weeks, 6 months.
6 months.
Measles will be given at 9 months, and then like that. But this will start around 9 years.
9. Okay.
So it will be indicated in that card that you've had this vaccine.
Okay. How does this vaccine work?
Okay. Like any other vaccine, when it's an exposure to the synthesized viral protein, the protein of the virus, okay? And once your body is exposed to it, you have those cells that will, for everybody, let me say immune cells. These immune cells are able to recognize the viral protein that they have been exposed to, and they prepare. They are like sensitized. They are ready. They have been exposed. They know this virus. They know this is this, you know. So the next time
they see the real thing.
They see the real thing. They attack it.
The challenge.
They know what to do.
Yeah.
The reason I asked is because when the COVID-19 virus came out, people were, one, hesitant to take. Now, the news a number of people are also circulating now is that that vaccine is causing whatever in, some people's bodies. And naturally, people will have that same mindset that if we hear that one about that one, what's the assurance that this one is not going to, help me in some way and harm me in any other way? That's the reason I'm asking.
Well, yeah, thank you very much for that. These things, they are essentially drugs. Let me start with that. Those vaccines have been tested and they have been found safe for human consumption, as it were. The ordinary paracetamol you use has its side effects. Okay, so there can be side effects to any of these vaccines. I mean, that is not something that is not unexpected. You get it? And I must say, for COVID vaccine, it was to mimic the COVID virus, okay? And people had different reactions to the COVID virus. Thrombosis, some things that had to do with blood clots and all whatnot. So it is not impossible. It was a new vaccine. It is not impossible that...
but this one is not a new vaccine.
This one is not a new vaccine.
Okay,
it's something that has been used everywhere.
Let's leave it at that.
So
what other preventive measures, if any, are there against cervical cancer?
Well, like I said, the human papillomavirus is an STI, sexually transmitted infection. So if you're never exposed to sex, then you won't have it. If you're celibate, you're not going to have it. It's as simple as that. So but you cannot preach celibacy to anyone and be 100% showing yourself that this person will not be exposed to sex either behind you or even in front of you. But celibacy is difficult to preach. Okay. The other thing that you can talk about is not is to have periodic tests. Okay. Pap smear, we call it, where you test the cervix, you swipe around the cervix, you pick cells from the cervix, so you can pick early cancers or precancerous condition and take action. Now, the best of all of this is still the vaccine that we're lucky to have for a cancerous condition. If you add the human papillomavirus vaccine, you are protected against human papillomavirus. You can go to sleep. Then you're not going to be infected. That does not preclude you testing for cervical cancer whatsoever,
So you can still have your periodic pap smear.
Pap smear, yes, you can still have it. But you are very, very protected. Science has proven that.
So is this vaccine, will it become mandatory, especially for the girl child?
When it is routinized, then it is part of the routine immunization of that particular country, and Nigeria will not be exempt, Vaccination is like drug. You can decide not to take. Okay. Even the routine immunization we're talking about, the polio, the diphtheria, the BCG, all of these things. If you as a mother says, please don't give my child,
there's nothing anybody can do.
We cannot grab you and give you the vaccine. But we will try and convince you. We will try and let you know that that decision is one that is down the hill. It's not one that you should be taking. And the reasons you should come to decide where you will be convinced that you have to take this vaccine. And good enough. Most of these vaccine preventable illnesses are things that people see. We all remember what polio did when we didn't have oral polio vaccine or even the IM1. We have paralyzed children, children that were not able to achieve their full potential. even pertussis, children dying before they're 5. And even now, our under 5 is terrible. So it's not under 5 deaths, that is terrible for Nigeria as a country. So we are not even in that area that we will say we don't want to have ourselves vaccinated, you know.
You know, those early vaccines that a baby is given at birth.
At birth and
I don't remember that we were given any choice. We were told, and babies were taken away and given the vaccines. We were not asked for permission to take them away.
Well, if you reject. They
didn't ask. They took the child and gave the child the vaccine.
I'm glad they did that.
They didn't ask my permission, if I remember correctly.
For coming to the hospital, you have given implied permission. That's implied consent.
Now, something you said earlier very quickly, for those who are wondering what this whole conversation is about, you said it's better when the person hasn't become sexually active. What happens when the person has already become sexually active, not at age 3, but the person is already sexually active but does not have HPV and has not taken the vaccine?
That person should still take it. Let me say that. There are several strains of the human papilloma virus, and that is what some anti-vax use as their argument against the vaccine. Several strains, more than 100 strains and what the Gardasil, the brand we're giving, protect against just about 4 strains. 6, 11,
out of
16,
100.
6, 11. Those are the commonest strains. It's like you talk about, you see, viruses, they change, but the ones that are most important, that cause problem, okay,
this vaccine will work
against those strains 6, 11, 16, and 18. Okay. This HPV is also the cause of what we call
strain 6, 11,
16, and 18.
Okay.
Now, the 6, 11, and 11 are the strains that commonly will cause genital warts. Genital warts is very common. Okay, very common. And once you have this vaccine, you're protected. All the other ones are quite rare. Okay, and many times what they cause is usually self-limiting. But these ones that I've mentioned are really the terrible ones.
You've agreed that those who are already sexually active can take. So who are the people that are taking the vaccine? Is it just women?
In some countries, boys are also given.
But they don't have cervical cancer, so
what are they taking? They can have genital warts. And mind you, I remember I said it's sexually transmitted. So if the guy has it, then he will expose the girl.
But I have taken the vaccine, so...
Yes, very good. You've taken it, so you're protected.
So the boys in Nigeria
will also they will eventually be included. But for now, we're targeting the girls.
Between 9 and 14?
14, yes, 9 and 14.
Okay. Is there any condition that will prevent a child from not taking the vaccine? Is there any condition that a child might have
that will prevent the child from? Oh, well, if a child has an overwhelming infection, is seriously ill, we will not advocate that you should give the child at that time until the child is well out of that illness and is fit, because you're expected to also respond to that vaccine and be able to mount a reaction to anything that resembles that virus. You understand? So for you to be able to do that, you have to be in the very top shape of health, you know. And then again, if it has been demonstrated that you react to any component of that vaccine, You know, it's not just.
But how will I know?
No, it has, the bottle has the component of the vaccine. The viral protein is there. Then sometimes you have albumin. You have also some other
things. Will that be read to the parent of the child so that she can tell you, or he can tell you if that child reacts to any of those things?
Yes, many times children that react to particular thing, the parents know, and they will tell you clearly, my child reacts to egg white, my child reacts to this particular thing. Mothers know, I can tell you that. Mothers know. They know what their child. So they would tell you.
Yeah, that's if they are asked, doctor. If they are asked. Sometimes they don't get asked. Because I have a friend who died from receiving tetanus toxoid once because he wasn't asked what he was allergic to.
Well, that is correct. That is correct. I will not take that as not being. It happens. Okay, but that is not to say that it should happen. Okay, if you want to give anything at all, any drug at all, no matter how mundane you think the drug is, you should explain to the patient. And for a drug like this that we've had so much of resistance against, we take informed consent. And informed consent means you've explained to them. Part of what you will be asking is, have you reacted to anything in the past? Have you reacted to any injection in the past? Do you react to this type of thing? And if the person says, okay, I react to this, I react to that, then I say, okay, this we need to put you aside and be sure you will not react to it. And then you may not have to go through all sorts of tests, allergy tests, to know that you will not react to this one.
So in that light, perhaps it's also fair to ask, who should not be given this vaccine?
Right now, we don't advocate for this vaccine to be given to pregnant women. So pregnant women are exempt from it. If you
wish, are from almost everything else.
If you wish to have it, then you go and deliver first, and then you can come back to us. Of course, if you have demonstrated any reactions to any of the components, then we're not going to give you until you are certified safe to receive it. And like I said earlier, if you have very severe illness, some people will have overwhelming infection that they're already battling. You will want them to clear that infection first before you introduce another thing, so they will be exempt from this thing.
Okay, so
for HIV, HIV is one area that is very important. That's a human immunodeficiency virus, the cause of AIDS. For people that are HIV positive, they are not exempt. In fact, they will be given 2 doses instead of 1.
But they have to be honest enough to tell you that they have HIV.
Oh, well, we know.
You know.
We know. I mean, we know.
Just to put it like this.
Yes, because a lot of people are on medication even now.
Okay.
But none will come out to tell you that I'm on medication. Okay. But the doctor knows.
So how many doses would a girl be given?
Just 1 dose.
Just 1.
For this particular one that we're given, Gardasil. 1 dose and you're fine.
Okay. And is it available in all government institutions right now?
Oh, in Lagos State, it is available across all of our primary health centers. Although we started the campaign on the 30th of October, ended about 10 days after, but we're still continuing. We will continue to give for as long as you come to the primary health centers. We have about 320 of those across the state. So your backyard, your street, you probably will find a primary health center somewhere. We also have in all of the general hospitals in Lagos State and our teaching hospital too. And importantly, it is absolutely free. The government of Lagos State has made it in conjunction with partners and MPHCDA made it absolutely free. You will remember, madam, if you, like you said, you've had it, you paid to have it, and it's not cheap. So we find it
Viewers,
difficult.
you heard that.
You paid.
It is free.
Absolutely.
I thought you were going to ask that you be refunded. Just saying. So you were saying something.
Nobody will be refunded, but we will not collect anybody to give it now.
We're grinding to a close gradually, but since we have you here, are there cases of women who do not have, what is the plural of cervix now? Cervixes. Is it possible?
Is that possible? Well, those are developmental anomalies, and developmental anomalies can take any shape. Yes, there are so-called women that will not have uterus. There are women that will even have double uterus and meaning double cervix. So, by conics, don't let me go to that. But let me just say, you may not even have uterus at all. Okay, and once there is no uterus, there won't be cervix. Yes. And you may even have the uterus, two of them, separate. And it's possible to also now have two cervixes in one single person. So those are developmental anomalies, and they exist.
Okay, apparently.
So will a girl child be examined before she's given? So it's just assumed that it's there, so she gets the vaccine?
Well, for many times, although for some of the incomplete uterine anomalies, you may not see it on the face. But for people that will have the very severe anomalies with complete absence, they also have other morphologic features that you will see on their face. They may not be as tall as they should be. They may have some funny facie. So once you see that type of a girl, you think, okay, there may be more.
I just want to the kind of things that they see. Well, quick one, if you can, 15 seconds each. There are some myths and misconceptions that I would like you to help our viewers, get a grip on. Number one, that the HPV vaccine promotes early sexual activity. Yes, no?
No.
Number two, that the HPV vaccine is not safe.
Very safe. NAFDAC approves it.
Number three, natural immunity is better.
Natural immunity.
How can you get immunity against cancer?
You're asking me.
Number four.
This is the only cancer that you can have immunity against.
Yes.
Most other cancers, you can do absolutely nothing. Yeah. You just try.
And pray.
Okay, number four. The HPV vaccine causes infertility. In fact, someone just sent us a mail that there's a conception that this HPV vaccine will make a girl to be infertile in the future. That this is the aim to reduce the population of people. Can you explain that? It's from Shade.
That is the devil's lie from hell.
So it's misconception 101.
In fact, that is what has caused a lot of issues for us, because online you see all sorts of things, that this is a conspiracy between the Chinese government and some African government and European and then America to reduce the population of blacks and sterilize our pre-sexual girls women, so that they will not be able to have children and reduce our population. Those are just lies from hell.
Okay.
Absolutely false.
Dr. Ibrahim Akinwumi Mustafa, Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Primary Healthcare Board. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be back right after now. At least now you know what to do. So.
In a world hungry for goodness, with a splash of golden terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Make a lunch hour a happy hour. Change no thanks into yes please. Provide care when our nearest and dearest needs it most. And resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty, nourishing family meals is all that matters. The world needs moms because where there are moms, there is hope, happiness, and love. Golden Terra Oil, or pure love.
We are passionate about two things in Nigeria. The first is football. The second is our rice. And nobody celebrates like a Nigerian. So, for every goal scored, every mark made, you can be sure to always come back home to rice. Celebrate with Nigerian Premium Big Bowl Rice, homegrown just like you. Big Bowl Rice, tasty rice, nourished you. We are passionate about two things in Nigeria. The first is football. The second is our rice. And nobody celebrates like a Nigerian. So, for every goal scored, every mark made, you can be sure to always come back home to rice. Celebrate with Nigerian Premium Big Bowl Rice, homegrown just like you. Big Bowl Rice, tasty rice, nourished you.
Thanks for calling Bastion HMO.
Thank you. Now that was my health insurance partner. Yeah, I was just as skeptical as you were about health insurance until I tried Bastion HMO. I got a healthcare plan that's right for me and my family. I have access to top quality healthcare services and facilities. We also get access to over 1,700 hospitals and clinics. Call 0800 Bastion, Bastion Health, the HMO that puts you in control.
Thank you for staying with us. Remember 2 weeks ago, we talked about estate planning. And when we saw that, we were thinking, oh, okay, they're planning to build an estate. Okay, what neighborhood? And then the lady said, no, it's not that kind of estate planning. This is planning for the rest of your life and the life after you have gone. Something like that. Okay, that discussion continues today, and it's my pleasure to welcome the head private trust at FBN Quest Trustees, Mr. Rotimi Obende.
Yes.
Obende.
We need to tell Microsoft to put signs in
Thank you very much, Mr. Obende. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now, we have started this discussion. We started this discussion about 2 weeks ago. Obviously, there's still a lot more that you want to tell us about estate planning.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you're here today.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what are the common misconceptions that people have about planning an estate? It's like, so you guys want me to die, right? Or you all are planning to kill me soon?
So I would say clearly that's the first misconception. Because when you start discussing estate planning with people, they just assume that, you want me to die. But that's not the intention. So that's the first misconception that people have. Second misconception is what you started with. People think that estate planning means that I must have an estate. Or people think that I must be worth a certain amount of money. That is also a misconception. We've seen people in this environment, I say this lightly, where a family is fighting over a 32 inches black and white television.
Yes.
So it is not the...
Which kind? Is it smart TV?
It's not a smart TV because
it's black and white. So it cannot be smart.
So it means that the people fighting for that black and white TV are not smart themselves.
No. So it depends on level now. So for when we talk about estate planning, and I say that people think it's for the wealthy people, it you would say that a black and white 32 inches TV is not anything of value to you.
Yeah.
It's of value to some other persons.
Are we not talking about that TV where they carry something for back?
Yes, now. That you need to fix a pole on and you start turning to find signals.
So if the TV is not smart and some people are fighting over it, will we then say those people are smart? Anyway, don't do that.
I would say that the man that owned the asset was the one that was not smart. Not deciding who should eventually inherit that. Because for you, it's not of value, but to them, it's of value.
Is it still working?
It's still working.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that's another misconception that people have, that I have to own a lot before I can then decide who should inherit in future.
I don't even know where my daddy's wardrobe is.
This thing about inheriting, there's one particular expression that we see, next of kin.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Who is a next of kin?
Okay, so I was also going to say that that's another mistake that we make. You go to the bank, you fill a form, they ask you for your next of kin, you put a name. At the back of your mind, you are saying that if anything happens to me, that person should inherit, if it's that account or that property. The assumption is that we believe that a next of kin is a beneficiary. No. A next of kin is simply your closest living blood relation that should be like a contact person. So if anything happens to you, contact person, who should they get in touch with? So if anything happens to me, for example, who should my organization be speaking with?
So who is going to educate us away from that one? Because
that's why we are here.
Take us from that
misconception. You find someone is happy to be next of kin.
Of course.
Not knowing he is not a beneficiary.
So you would have probably seen, and I do then apologize to your gender when they get married. When we get married, the fight and the fuss is over. Why have you not changed the next of kin from your dad or your mom or your brother or sister to me? And it's a big fight. Meanwhile, it is of no essence in terms of inheritance. You are not entitled to anything as a next of kin.
Hey.
The person that is entitled to something is a beneficiary.
Hey, but
there's no space for beneficiary on the form. No. It just asks me for a next of kin.
Yes, but they don't expect you to have an estate plan in place.
See, yesterday when I was at that event, Alera, wait 1 second. Because I know that's where your mind is. When I was at that election thing yesterday, some of the things that the lawyer was saying was like, and we are fighting over elections. Meanwhile, these facts are there. Some things that we fight over were absolute balderdash simply because we don't have the right information, and that's what you're telling us now. Yeah. So, if anyone has been fighting over not being next of kin,
they should please quit the
fight. In other words, you are not next. You could be next of skin.
Correct.
For all I care.
Okay, so
but at your workplace, as if your next of kin is your wife, should you? Well, okay. A man puts his wife as his next of kin in his place of work.
Yeah.
And he passes in the course of doing his work. So his wife will be called to be informed that he has passed and he's in XYZ hospital or whatever. And then his benefits will go to whom?
His benefits will go to beneficiaries.
No, he hasn't put any.
So if he has not put any there and he doesn't have a will or a trust, it means that the family will go through the process of probate. They will then need to get a letter of administration. The letter of administration will then say who are the administrators of his estate. It is the administrators.
This story done the long.
And so that's the whole essence of us talking about estate planning and letting people know that, like you said, there are a number of things people fight for that are
completely not necessary. What you should be interested in is, do you have an estate plan? Do you have a will? Do you have a trust? Those two instruments are the things that will give legitimate rights to beneficiaries to say, yes, this thing was passed to
Okay,
me.
let me ask you this question. I know that last time, I don't know if it was you that said that there were some people quarreling over an estate for more than 30 years.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So it so happens that this fellow, high scenario, passes and there was no estate planning. But there is a next of kin.
Yeah.
And the next of kin is now the current chairman CEO of the estate, assumably because of our culture. Now, what are the risks that the next of what are the risks that the next of kin runs staying on that estate without this plan that you're talking about?
Okay, so that essentially two risks. Number one is the risk on the organization, who then decides that the benefits should go to the next of kin. If the family, let's say for example, just saying that the man had put his brother as the next of kin, so the company calls the brother and says, take 50 million. If the wife, the spouse, gets a grant of probate that names her as the administrator of the estate, she can go back to the organization and say, I am now the administrator of this estate. We need the 50 million. The company will be required to pay. So that's risk number one. If he doesn't have a will, you should be looking at for the administrators. Do they have a letter of administration giving them the right? Risk number two is on the individual. If you have not managed the estate in a transparent manner, there's a liability coming up for you. The spouse will simply sue you and expects to get plus interest. Yeah. And if she's smart enough, the charges that she would have incurred, legal cost, she will put it on you. So it's important that we have what we keep saying at FBN Quest Trustees: have an estate plan, have a will, have a trust. The simplest thing I would say that you should do is have a simple will. Maybe we'll have an opportunity to discuss and touch on the subject of a simple will that is cost efficient, easy to implement. When we were talking earlier, you thought that it's so difficult, it looks like it's a hard process. There's a simple will that won't take you more than 30 minutes to do, and it resolves all of this.
We'll get to
Ladies
that.
and gentlemen, I think that with all these points, I have been able to convince you that it is very important that you have an estate planning process.
But the next of kin, is it possible that the next of kin can also be a beneficiary?
Oh yes, clearly. The next of kin can also be a beneficiary. But the benefit is going to enjoy is not in his position as a next of kin. It's in his position as a beneficiary.
It's okay.
But suppose that is not clearly stated.
It comes back to another misconception, if you permit me, not wanting to use the right professionals. Some people would say that because FBN Quest Trustees is an organization, they might be more expensive to use. And you know the difference between this level of hospital and this level of hospital, or this financial institution and this financial institution. The gap is much. The man with experience or the institution with experience can clearly give you the kind of solution that you require. And if you then know the professional, the right professional to use, it solves all of these problems. So it's important that when it comes to using the right instrument and how that instrument is even prepared, you need to be talking to the right people. And I do say you need to be talking to us at FBN Quest Trustees.
Are there occasions when next of kin also equals beneficiary, where the roles are interchangeable? even though the words are different?
So the roles might appear as interchangeable, where if I have a will, I then name the executors of my will. I use an individual as the executor of my will, which we do not advise for a lot of reasons. Now, that executor might also then be a beneficiary in my will.
Okay.
Now, why do we advise that you use an institution as your executor, an institution like MBN Quest Trustees as your executor? When it comes to being biased, you're dealing with an institution that will not be biased. They will deal professionally. So if you say this asset, this is how you want the assets distributed, they will work in a professional manner. If you use an individual, for example, and that individual then, I like your face more than I like his face, so he is tempted to now give you preferential treatment, even though the will does not say that. Now, where the will is not clear as to distribution, he would then need to use his own sentimental reasoning to decide how distribution should be done. But a professional institution named as an executor will not do that.
Well, there is someone who is calling something to question on Twitter. Talking about the fact that what Islam says about estate planning. You want to speak to that?
What Islam says?
Yes.
Okay, so
someone says, as Muslims, Islamic religion has already stipulated who are the beneficiaries of a deceased. It is clearly stated in the Holy Quran. Is that something that is factored in?
Oh, so it's clearly stated in the Quran, but the Quran also says, and even in some Sunnah, that also says that Prophet Muhammad, for example, says to Muslims that if you have assets that you want to bequeath to the next generation, a night must not pass before you have a will in place. So it clearly says to Muslims, you must have a will. Now, the distribution of your assets is what Islam, the Quran has also provided for. So if you have 3 sons, those 3 sons automatically know what they will get. If you have 3 daughters, the daughters automatically know. You have surviving parents. It's spelled out, the ratio that each person gets, which is what he's talking about. Now, what Islam has also provided, which just flowing from that, 2/3 of your assets, which legally speaking you cannot do anything or change the variation. 2/3 goes to named beneficiaries. 1/3 you can then do anything you like with, which then flows to the very essence of having a will. I have a will. What do I want to do with my 1/3? Now, Islam recognizes the fact that if you are a Muslim born in a Muslim family and you decide to become a Christian, just saying, you have lost that out of that 2/3 portion automatically. But that 1/3, the creator, the owner of the asset can then decide in his will that, okay, because you will not get anything from the 2/3, you get something from the 1/3. I can then name you as a beneficiary. I can also create a waqf. A waqf is a trust that takes care of the 1/3 or the people that I will not take care of in my will. So as a Muslim, the Quran or the Islam has not prevented you from having an estate plan in place.
Okay.
It has said to you that you must have either a will or a waqf or even an IBA, ensuring that your assets are properly distributed. That's like a deed of gift.
Prince Balogun, now you heard that one, but let me ask you this one. Can somebody change the next of kin? And in that case, what are the implications?
So again, why you bothered about a next of kin when you should be bothering about a beneficiary? You can change it 100 times if you want to. But what I think we should then start to ask ourselves, and our viewers should ask themselves, do you have an estate plan? And is your estate plan watertight enough for every beneficiary to know what they are entitled to?
Just a quick one, because estate plan is always sounding to people like the estate where they live in. How does it differ from a will?
Okay, a will is an instrument that you use in planning your estate. Or let me say, so maybe we should try and change it from estate planning to inheritance planning, if it will suit people a lot. So inheritance planning, your will is an instrument that you use to decide who should inherit what I have.
Okay. From all we have discussed so far, both 2 weeks ago and now, it seems that communication is playing a major role in avoiding. So how can we use communication to avoid potential conflicts among family members regarding this next of kin?
Next of kin. So one thing we need to do, which is what at FBN Quest Trustees we are constantly trying to do, is educate people. That's a means of communication. Now, I would expect that if Agenda sees this discussion, she sends it to the next person, and they are then able to amplify it on social media, because on social media you see a lot of people fighting over the fact that your husband is wicked, he has not changed the next of kin from his mother to you. So all of these conversations, and at FBN Quest Trustees, we will continue to have these conversations so that people are better enlightened and they are then ready to put the right things in place.
It's okay. We
Next
have
of skin.
What?
Kin.
Any other thing we might be missing, Mr. Obende?
Anything else you want to tell us?
I'll just say that you need to start to speak to the right professionals, and the right professionals you can find at FBN Quest Trustees. We'll give you the tailor-made solutions that fit you.
1 second, you have 30 seconds.
What's the website again?
No, we'll come to that. The simple will, what does it look like?
Okay, so it's an online platform where you can just put in your details. You put in your details. When you click submit, there are a number of steps. It's step-by-step process that you need to take. Once you do that, in less than 30 minutes, you just click submit. Okay. You see a simple draft, and we can then have conversations with you. I believe that in some episodes we would have that conversation.
So this is your website?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a platform there where you find
what's the website, by the way?
FBN Quest.
Okay.
/trustees.
Okay, so that is it right there. For those who want to. Yes, you wanted to ask a question.
No, the website.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Rotimi Obende, Head Private Trust at FBN Quest Trustees.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you very much.
I wonder what you're going to have to talk to us about maybe next week or week after.
No, maybe he will be asking us, what happens when one of the beneficiaries is a staff of FBN Quest. We're back right after now. Still with us.
Confusion.
As the world goes smaller every day, it's important for nations to continue to collaborate by forging new trade relations.
As we celebrate the inauguration of our 18th president, we'll be having a special dinner with a special announcement.
Aligning with our set objectives is the introduction of the MSME's Ideathon.
It will be our utmost pleasure to invite you to be a part of the 2023 Presidential Inauguration Dinner. We'll be looking forward to receiving you.
Yesterday, today, and forevermore. What you do. You never fail, you never change. You are faithful till the end. Faithful God, I worship you. I worship you. You're too faithful to fail me.
Son has been responding to treatment.
You're too faithful to disappoint me. You've proven yourself in my life, and I've come to realize you're too faithful to fail me. You're too faithful to fail me. Oh Jesus, you're too faithful to disappoint me. You've proven yourself in my life, and I've come to realize you're too faithful to fail me. Hey, da, 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 da. Oh, da, da, da. Hey, da, da, da. Yes, we worship. You are God.
You are who you are yesterday,
Today,
and forever.
what you said,
What you say is what you do.
Lord, you never fail.
Never fail,
You never change, God.
You are faithful to
Faithful God,
faithful God.
I worship you. I worship you. You are.
You're too faithful to fail me.
Yes, you're too faithful to disappoint me.
You're too faithful to disappoint me.
Hallelujah. You have proven yourself.
Proven yourself in my life.
I've come to realize.
You're too faithful to fail me.
Too faithful. You're too faithful to fail me, God.
You're too faithful to fail me.
Lord, you're too faithful to disappoint me.
You're too faithful to disappoint me.
Oh God, you've proven yourself. Hallelujah.
In my life.
I've come to realize. You're too faithful to fail me. Oh Lord, you're too loving to leave me. You're too loving to leave me away. What you start, you always finish. Lord, I've come to realize that you're too loving to leave me. Lord, you're too loving to leave me.
You're too loving to leave me.
Too loving, too loving, too loving.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's talk about another misconception. What's this misconception? Now, the festive season is here, and it is associated with plenty to eat and drink, of course. Now, the misconception. What?
Carry on.
The misconception is that we are allowed to overindulge in what some people believe to be unhealthy diets, excessive intake of alcohol just for the period. In fact, some people call it cheat. Yeah, cheat period. Some people believe that research has said that many people tend to put on extra weight during this period, and they are consequently overexposed unnecessarily, fatally, or is it fatalistically, to diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney problems, and stroke, among others. It's not time for me to...
The list is not exhaustive. So they don't want me to eat at Christmas. These doctors, they don't want me to eat at Christmas. The one time that we all indulge, they are saying even that is bad for you.
Oh,
so
God.
what kind of life?
Can we get into this conversation, Alero?
Sorry.
Well,
I'm just complaining.
Wait, be calming down.
Sorry. Okay.
Yonda Agbeniga is here again, CEO and principal consultant, Media Ideas.
To tell
Lifestyle.
us we should not eat Christmas cake.
Oh, God.
I'm very offended by all of this.
Yonda, thank you for
Because when I was saying that I wanted to order my Christmas cake, you should have seen how she looked at me.
She could have been looking at your hair.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Just for... Okay, she's here. You can ask her the questions.
Can I not eat Christmas cake?
I was looking at your hair.
Can I not eat Christmas cake?
I was looking at your hair.
Can I not eat Christmas cake on Christmas Day?
Okay, so moderation is always the watchword.
So one slice of Christmas cake.
Moderation.
And one big slice of turkey breast. Slice.
I always come from the perspective of the straw that breaks the camel's back. So if you're predisposed to some conditions, you don't want to break that camel's back because you don't know your body's threshold, you know. So if you see a diabetic person who's had stints with kidney problems, hyperglycemia, coma and all those things, acidosis and all those problems, falling into shocks and all that, I don't particularly think that's about the best time to want to pull the trigger, you know, and expose yourself, because we have just one body, one chance at life, one shot at life. Well, different opinions exist, and that is not particularly the best time to pull the trigger and land in the hospital. You know, so that's my opinion. Actually, my job is to let us see the risks involved and what we can do, and then we actually take the decision ourselves.
Well,
all right.
I'm sure your limits are, and that always boils down to being aware of where you are on the health curve. There is a curve. I mean, I always say that during COVID, everybody became aware of their position on the health curve. You want to know where you are right now. You know, during the pandemic, people knew that those who went who had existing comorbidities, that means conditions that were already existing in their body, did very poorly with the infection with the virus, you know, because the bodies were already struggling with existing immune problems, and then another immune offender came in and shut them down.
That one was like the Boko Haram of all of them. But you know, the reason I asked that question is based on a research published by the British Medical Journal that showed that on an average day, 50 heart attacks were recorded. But on Christmas Eve, the number jumped to 69%, to 69 heart attacks. A 37% increase with incidents clustering around 10 p.m. after a day of coping with relatives eating and drinking too much. That's the reason I asked the question. Also, in addition, the same study, the risk of suffering a heart attack also rises by 22% on Boxing Day, while New Year's Eve had no associated risk, possibly because symptoms of a heart attack were masked by alcohol.
That's really deep. I mean, you took time to do that research. But the truth is there are many things that could contribute to that, apart from the eating, the lifestyle, the diet, the pressure, and well, in the traditional settings across the world and here in our country, people put a lot of pressure on cooking, overindulging, stress, managing family, traveling, all that stuff will increase your cortisol level, increase your adrenaline level. And those two chemicals, body chemicals I called, are even enough triggers for someone whose threshold has been exceeded, and you put that much pressure on them again, they just clearly shut down. So I've always talked about thresholds. If once you exceed your threshold and then you increase the pressure, the unnecessary excitement, the alcohol, and all the things you are doing wrong to an already compromised immune system, then that's why at that time of the year is when you reap the harvest, because this is one time I want to do everything that my life wants to do, but I've lived a bad life all along. No prevention, no care, no immune system modulation, nothing. And so at that time it's easy to crash. So it always goes back to how well are you treating yourself, how well are you taking care of yourself, what are you doing
before you decide to cheat.
If you decide to cheat.
As in, because, I mean, you were already cheating, not knowing that you were cheating. Now you now decide, okay, well, let me cheat.
Yeah, I think that's
you have been cheating all along. So, one of the concerns I have about this conversation we're having today is the breaks that children are going to take from school. So in school, for instance, they already they have certain habits that they have picked up because of the stringent processes in boarding school, for instance. They are not allowed to do so many things. They are not allowed to go in some places, eat certain things. Mm-hmm. They were denied of those things. Now they come home. They now say, I am not in school. The taskmaster is not nearby. I want to cheat. So in that regard, that's one of the concerns I have about this conversation that we're having. What are the things that you will propose parents will pay attention to in that regard?
Okay, so for that's really easy, because if you understand what to do, education is very important. If you understand what you need to do, then you would be able to make the right decisions. It is a known thing in nutrition that the nutritional requirements of children a lot more, they're different from what the adults require. They need stuff for growth, energy, protein, and all that. So at that time is when you're giving them basically they're back home from probably the boarding school or from the regular routine of waking up very early and going to school in the morning. So at that time you want to load them up with all the nutrients that they get. So give them what they want, but give them good things, give them good things that would augment their nutritional profile, give them energy. Most of the things you're going to restrict a 30-year-old, 35, 45-year-old, you might not 100% restrict them from it. You want them to get energy, but you don't want them to get aspartame drinks that would give them ADHD.
Speak English, please.
Drinks that have sweeteners, artificial sweeteners. I mean, there are a couple of good drinks around that do not have artificial sweeteners and all that. And sometimes the caloric load is not as bad as
some.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's indulge Alero. Because right now, she's still looking at me with what we call bombastic side eye. I have also seen that the darker the chocolate, the more expensive.
Yeah. So there's a study that says that there's this information that is going around that dark chocolate is good for the heart. But the truth about it is that cocoa has, I think, biflavonoids. I'm not sure of the particular chemical, biochemical in it, but the cocoa is actually good for the heart, So that's the unprocessed cocoa. Now you have this cocoa that has been sweetened, milk and all the stuff has been added, and we call it different brands. No, you are talking of the original cocoa into cocoa powders. When you make it into a drink, it has this great, awesome aroma.
Help me tell them, because I take it every morning. I've had my Cervical this morning.
Yeah, and so you can add honey to it. That is excellent, excellent, excellent for the heart. You can add...
Not dark chocolate.
Well, I would say...
Especially not white chocolate.
No.
That's my favorite.
Told you.
Yeah, so we would indulge in the dark ones.
Oh, now you're...
Sparingly. Sparingly.
Oh, I must have chocolate every day.
Oh, really?
Okay. Advise us. It's getting towards that time. People have already begun to plan their diets and their trips for the Yuletide. What are the things that you would advise people give attention to now and not overindulge? It's not impossible. For instance, you just heard that by New Year's Day, the heart attack increase numbers is flat because they have already, done enough harm.
Done all the damage over Christmas.
Boxing Day. So, what are the things that people should do in preparing, in planning their diets and stuff for the Yuletide?
Well, because of that jump in the number from the data you have given, it is the first thing I always say is you need to know where you are. If you know where you are, it's the testing and the checks and the medicals that will give you that data. You need to know where you are, and if you don't know what you're predisposed to, currently this is my reading, and you would get more information about your predispositions. Yeah, it's better you get information about your predispositions, where you are on the health curve, what conditions am I predisposed to, what's my kidney function, what's my liver function, how much of this so-called indulgence can I take without crashing. If you're aware, that will help you. That's the first step in planning. You need to know where you are. You need to run a check.
Okay, so how do we know where we are?
You need to get tested. That's it. It's simple. No, so I always talk about bioenergy testing. It's a little bit advanced.
What testing?
Bioenergy testing.
Bioenergy.
It's a little bit diverse from the current testings you're aware of. Those tests can give you your predispositions, the things your predispositions, where you currently are, conditions that are brewing, the state of your liver, your kidneys, and all that. So yeah, I want to break the rules, but this guy can't carry it, and then it can give you your prognosis 1 year, taking a graphical look at where you are right now. This is what could happen in a year, this is taking a graphical or mathematical look at where you are right now. This is where you would be in 5 years. So you know what to do. You're not shocked by a sudden increase in heart attacks at Christmas or at New Year and all that. Then, of course, after you know where you are, then you start making decisions. Slip in a snack, a healthy snack, slip in fruits and vegetables while all the Yuletide stuff is going on. Add the vegetables, add the salads, add the grains, add the healthy drinks. I remember there was a time I was speaking to my friend way back, and I told him, I had a lot of natural drinks stocked up for. Now that's what I'm going to use for Christmas. I told him hibiscus drink, and I like those drinks. And he goes, God forbid that I don't have enough money to buy drinks. I'm like, so I couldn't marry those discussions.
Because
I was thinking,
there's no alcohol anywhere.
I was thinking, what did I say wrong? I was thinking about my heart health and all those things, like let's eat right, and he's going, God forbid, I don't have enough money to buy drinks. So it's not that. That's a mindset thing. So you have all that stuff on your table.
Nobody under.
Those things are quite expensive.
Even those who are living a healthy life, so to speak, they are expected to indulge a little bit at Christmas.
That's why I said, while you have all those things on your desk, slip those things in.
Okay. Now, let's break it down, basics. Okay. Christmas Day, lunch. What should the menu look like?
Like Jesus Christ.
You should look like Jesus Christ.
Like I am like Jesus, like a trap. But the truth is, when you have all your, like, this is Africa, and
no, I'm talking about a healthy diet now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's not give it a strangulating diet.
No, you can be flexible. You can be flexible.
Christmas Day, you have your rice and your chicken, lots of salad, grilled fish, grilled stir fries, air-fried plantains, plenty of salads.
Air-fried plantain.
Air fryer.
The plantain has to be air fried.
Grilled fish.
So wait.
Stop. Not fried fish,
grilled chicken.
Why are you whispering to them? They can hear her.
And
I'm reminding you.
Yeah.
And I'm reminding myself. Air fried plantain.
Okay, so now those are, it's not, you're not going to
Dodo from air fryer.
Wait, are you sure that's not Bolly?
No, it's not Bolly.
Yeah, there's air fried.
Oh yes, and it's Dodo.
Yeah, it's really nice when you air fry plantain and grilled fish and fish.
Pause. You people should not kill somebody with the. How is air fried plantain different from Bolly?
No, it's not Bolly. Try it.
Have you tried it before?
Yes, I have.
Congratulations.
I can tell the difference because you can air fry your plantain, just brushing vegetable oil on it, and you can air fry it with no oil at all.
So
that's Bolly.
Which one do you recommend?
You can do both, actually, because I mean it's Christmas time, and you're having now you're not restricting your diet to just that. You have everything on the table, just shoving all these things. That's what I'm saying, because you don't
variety
want
is the spice of life.
Yes, you don't want to strangulate yourself. Oh, I'm eating.
Okay, wait, madam. You know, from time to time when you come here.
So I will eat air fried plantain, which is Bolly.
No, air fried plantain that you don't put. You see this ororo thing? Sorry, this groundnut oil. you've told us a number of times about it. So if I want to air fry plantain, how do I go about it? And it do not look like Bolly.
And so you can use coconut oil with your brush over it, and or olive oil. Yeah.
Okay. But
then the Bolly.
If it's Bolly,
no olive oil at all.
Yeah.
We can just.
Now remember that that's not the only thing on your table for Christmas.
Let's just, I mean, you say it's cheat weekend, so allow us to indulge.
And then your drinks, like good drinks, you get
Zobo.
Yeah.
Orange juice,
Mix
and
them
as in pure squeezed orange juice.
Some of them not as sweet again, no.
They're not sweet at all.
No, you can mix it with pineapple and
watermelon.
Yeah, that stuff.
It has become a smoothie now.
Okay, now there's something that I heard recently, one of these video clips on Instagram and the rest of them, that when you make smoothies, it's not as healthy as when you bite and chew and your fruits to swallow. That, in fact, the fellow said that the saliva plays a role in the chewing process in the mouth before it goes down the gullet.
Yanda is not impressed.
No, we have done our research, so let me ask the specialists.
The experts.
What do you make of that?
There are different reasons why you are taking your drinks, your healthy drinks, your smoothie, and why you are eating. Okay? So you're taking your drinks because you want to optimize nutrients. Sometimes the people who do fruit juices are doing it because they're either sick and they want quick absorption into the bloodstream, so they are taking it as drinks. Now you're doing a smoothie because you want the fiber part of it also added in fluid form. Okay, so you're taking that in as a smoothie. You have blends of fruits. You can't do 10 fruits now. You want to do 10 fruits. Okay, so and you need the nutrients from the carrot, the cucumber, the celery, and everything all together. But you just want to take a glass. So if you understand the purpose, then you're having like 10 different nutrients from different plants in that smoothie cup, and you're taking the glass. You're taking 2 glasses. You can't take all 10 fruits at once. If you're chewing, yes, there's the role of ptyalin, the enzyme in the mouth and all that, breaking down that stuff. Digestion, of course, starts in the mouth and all that. So they have different. So restricting people to one mode of consumption would not do the job, especially if they are condition specific or nutritional targeting, if they're targeted at stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, I was going to add on the meal thing, the Christmas meal thing. It is not that you want to kill joy, it is that you want to ensure that you have enough fiber. Whatever you have taken, you need enough fiber, raw foods, living foods, foods that are not dead. You need them to be added to your plate. So
which are the dead ones and the alive ones?
Okay.
No, you
we cannot hear. Look, if we're talking about living food, I saw a video. Live frog sushi. Is that the kind of...
No, those people...
Not for me, thank you.
No, those people are in a different climate.
So the live ones and the dead ones.
Living foods are your raw foods. Your cucumber is raw, your salads, all that is...
So that's live.
They are live.
Oh, okay.
They're called living foods because the enzymes are still active in them.
Okay.
And those enzymes, we human beings have enzymes. Fruits and vegetables have enzymes. But most of the times, enzymes help in your metabolic processing, breaking down foods and all that. So,
you said cucumber and you said carrot.
Yeah.
I can eat carrot raw and I can eat it steamed or cooked.
Yeah, I'm going there.
Okay. Sorry.
You have an enzyme bank which helps with your metabolic processes, breakdown, healing. Sometimes you have an injury, all those stuff, they help you heal it and all that. But the body's enzyme bank is sometimes depleted because we are putting so much pressure on immune system, on immunity, metabolism and all that. So when you take your raw foods, like salads, or you eat a cucumber directly, the enzymes inside those foods are still alive, and you take them in, they help you supplement your deficiency. So like if you do suya, you notice that the guys that sell suya sell it with cabbage, onions, and cucumber. Reason is they don't know, most of them might not know, but those extra living foods help with the digestion of those meats after you're done. So that's the same thing that you want to add that to your plate, all those fruits and vegetables and all that to whatever you're doing, because they will help you with movement. You know, you're not going to retain so much of that calorie that you have taken. Then of course you need to detoxify, especially after your massive indulgence, because you don't want to retain some of those things. Then
okay, go ahead.
Sometimes dead foods are foods that are deficient in nutrients, deficient in enzymes. So like you take your vegetable and you cook it to stupor.
No, you just steam it.
You want to air fry your vegetables?
Some of your vitamin C, if you're doing shopping and you're buying your vegetables, some of those nutrients, some of them are water soluble, some of them are fat, some nutrients are fat solubles and all that. Once you start to chop them, especially I don't know the English name for ugu. Once you're cutting it and half of the greens are already gone, the enzymes are washed off, then you put it in the pot and you're cooking, and you cook it for like another 20 minutes. There's nothing left. Those are dead foods.
Chaff.
Yeah. Then things like your packaged foods that have been cooked and preservatives added and shipped for 3 years, they're not living foods.
So,
okay, you were going to talk about the carrots.
We're out of time, just so you know.
The live, when you eat it fresh, and then when you steam it or when you cook it, when you boil it.
It's better to eat your carrots without steaming, because a good portion of the nutrients are gone. And sometimes once you hear fortified foods, that means a good portion of the nutrients have been removed. We now added maybe vitamin A and C, and we call it fortified. So you want to do them raw.
I think we shall reduce your coming to this
so that you will not be killing our joy.
You just come here and you kill our joy. Christmas Day, you're telling us not to indulge. So what are we living for if we can't indulge on Christmas
what she said
Day?
is go ahead and indulge, but you could be pulling a trigger. Okay? All right. So, Yonda, I didn't rescue you. We'll continue our fight after
your own.
Yonda Beniga is CEO and Principal Consultant of Media Ideas Lifestyle and Wellness Center. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much.
Well, there is something that we have been told countless times, that it is never too much, and that is laughter. I don't know how much of that dose or dosage you're going to get on our home stretch, but we'll be back to give you some of that when we return. To stay with us.
Woke up one Sunday morning, told my daddy I'm leaving home. I'm going off to the city tomorrow, even though I don't know where to go. And daddy says, son, don't be a fool, 'cause life in the city is unbelievable. You could get broken, no, you're just a little boy, and you may never find your way. And I said, I know I could get lost, I know I could get broken. Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance, for I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Badura for me, pray I find my way. Koriba Mishe. Oh, forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Badura for me, pray I find my way. Koriba Mishe. Oh, forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Hello, Daddy, how you doing? Hope Mama's doing okay. Been 4 years and 11 months now. Alone, it was true what you said to me. But life in the city is unbelievable. Had to struggle just to get by every day, and I could barely find my way. Shubham. Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Badura for me. Koriba
Welcome to the home stretch.
Which home?
My favorite part of Sunrise.
You want to go home?
Start speaking grammar for almost 3 hours. Tomiwa Kukoyi.
Yes, ma'am.
Popularly known as Tomiwa Sage.
Yes, ma'am. It's not saggy. No, not saggy. I'm just saying. Sir. Oh, my goodness. Just saying.
He is an MC, an actor, and a comedian. Oh. He holds a degree in theater arts from the University of Ibadan of school.
Fantastic.
And he has featured in, a number of movies,
yes,
including Gone,
yes,
Breaded Life, Stormy Hearts, A Day with Death.
Yes.
No, I don't want A Day with Death. Thank you very much.
It's a film.
I don't want to go there. Thank you very much. Please welcome Tomiwa Sage.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Who is drum rolling for you?
Drum is funny.
I will celebrate myself. Thank you, Kushe. Well done, Tomiwa.
By the way,
well done.
I've got to share this. He thought he was telling me a secret when he said to me that when he was in UI.
Can we go on a commercial break now?
Itia Hall was his favorite hall.
Wow.
Because it had the smartest and the finest babes on campus.
Which campus were you? Which hall were you?
There was only one hall when I was in UI. Thank you very much. Queen's Hall.
Now I see why you had to leak this secret.
I am dated.
Now I see why you had to leak that secret. Man, there's no evidence that I said this to you. You will explain. No evidence.
So he will explain.
Tomiwa no evidence. The effrontery to come on my set and tell me that I'm lying.
No, because I didn't say you're lying. No, I said who's okay? Who were there? Were you there, sir? Were you aware?
No, was you there?
He didn't aware.
Was you there?
He didn't aware.
I want to.
Only me and you are aware.
Don't forget. Only you and her are aware.
We are the only people aware.
Both of you are aware that you said it.
The only the general public are aware. That's like a Nigerian politician. Nice to be here finally.
I wonder if the mic picked that.
They picked it. Is it new? We all see this thing every day. We hear it every day. I mean, there's nothing new about it.
And by next year now, he'll be a politician himself.
I cannot deny or accept this. Going back to their ways again. I cannot deny or accept this. We don't know.
Cannot deny? Did you say you cannot deny?
I cannot deny. I cannot deny. I cannot deny whether it will be
like that. He's even talking like a politician.
This thing when you watch them.
Did you see? Excuse me.
Wow.
Please, camera.
No, camera, please don't do this.
Camera,
Tony. LIRS, FIRS.
Tony, I know you are going to come to the Chew. So
I know you will at some point. I know you will.
Tomiwa Sage.
I already have a response for this.
Shoes.
These days, you need to let people know.
Comedians, easy.
No. It's mad. Let me speak.
They doesn't easy.
It's small something. This is
small something.
It's just, come on.
Now, you need to tell me how you transitioned from being a theater arts student to a comedian and to an actor.
Before you go there, what drew you to theater arts? You didn't do estate planning. You didn't do medical doctor.
Estate planning.
Estate management.
If I done estate management, you know when you open Instagram, you just see them. You can buy a house. I would have featured a lot in those things. I don't know what made me. Theater.
You didn't do medical doctor. You didn't do accounts.
I can't stand blood.
Engineering, pilot.
I wanted to be a military officer.
Wimp. You can't stand blood, but you want to go and kill.
Wow.
Military officer. You will miss.
No, as a marksman, you look at what you want to do, you close your eye, you turn around, you're gone.
These are the issues.
How do you think dictators were born? They close their eyes.
They used to kill
Alero. These are the issues.
These are the issues. But I mean, when I was in high school, I was drawn to literature a lot, very early. I think my studying theater may have had something to do with my father.
You know, my father is a naval officer, though he's retired now, and he always had books. He had books because he traveled a lot. So, and he always made me read them to him sometimes. And so I fell in love with literature first. And in high school, always all this drama club and all of that. And I represented St. Saviour's a lot, you know, and it just stuck with me. I just liked it. I like the act that when I get on stage, people are watching, you can relieve lines and stuff, and it was fascinating to me. So I decided to study full-time theater art.
Okay, and that's how you got into
That's how I got into theater.
So which one came first? Acting, comedy?
Oh, comedying. I think they ran concurrently. Mama Soyinbo gonna show you. It will shock people.
No,
I think
the only time we hear concurrent in most cases is when someone is sent to jail.
no, you don't hear during budget allocation. Concurrent, they run concurrent, supplementary. It's all together.
One of your boys is going into politics.
Wow, this is how you are reporting me, sir. Also, you know the rest. No, but I mean, how it happened. They were running concurrently, even from high school. I used to be a rapper. Yeah.
What's a rap?
When I was in high school, during free periods, you know, we always have free periods. I just get in front of my class. It was Busta Rhymes then. This is serious. Our this. You know, we just used to do freestyle and have fun like that. And it was, you know.
Okay, do you still rap?
Yeah, sometimes.
She raps
in my bathroom.
She raps in my mind.
We'll pretend that the studio is now your bathroom because you are going to close the program with a rap.
Give me a beat, I'll do it. It's just, I mean, words flow.
Yeah.
Words flow, it can't be that hard. It can't be that hard.
Oh, now you want to start rapping.
Out of all the rap lines, the snake in the book
cannot bite somebody.
Wow, what a wahoo. I am shocked. Out of all the lines.
God.
But that's not a problem. I mean, so they run concurrently. But for me, I think I'm studying theater. You know, everybody come into entertainment industry, not necessarily, even in the art world, people say, oh, I had a hobby for it. Okay. Having that rudimentary learning about what you're doing. Okay, people think, oh, it's just not to act. It's not to, I can act too now. Hey. And then they get in front of the camera and then they see the lines. You know, and they be
it's not the lines though. That even scares me. First of all, get in front of the camera. You just freeze.
You just, everything disappears. You know, and then when they do the first take, they feel good, and then they hear second take. I mean, like, which one be second take? Oh, you do what you just did again for close up, and
then you do it.
I don't remember. Then you have to do the third. I mean, as a theater artist, you know, as an actor, you have to. Gods Are Not to Blame is one big book. If you're playing Lakule in Lion and Jewel, if you're playing Kurumi, you got to get all that lines correct.
I think
it takes months and months.
Was King Emene I did.
Oh, yeah.
Was King Emene I did.
You know, so.
Directed by Antalanio. And he killed the living daylights out of it. Anyway, that's a matter for another day.
It's the usual grill.
Yeah, that's the matter for another day. In the days of Antalanio, they had metal chairs.
Okay. Oh.
So you make a mistake, you know the normal thing.
Wow.
He will take the chair, the leg of the chair he's sitting on because he wants to express how angry he is about what he did. Just he wants to first okay, let me not see someone else. Is that the kind of tell us something about stage?
Okay.
Because it would look like the culture of stage seems to be dissipating. Meanwhile, the texture of stage is still very, very pristine.
Yes, it is.
Tell us something about it and how it differs from screen.
Okay.
And what benefits it brings to people who haven't been.
Now God say me I go school. You see, now God say me I go school.
Why?
See this question now be like stamp paper. It's pristine, the clinical of it to the when last did I hear a question like this? I do think that stage gives an instant reaction. That is what you get. In the sense that the technicalities involved in the make-believe of stage is very instant.
He did say he was going to speak a lot of grammar.
Nah, you nago tire. That's it. It's important.
Wiggle bow.
That's all right. I'll take it. So I mean, in stage, you only have one shot and one shot only. It means that everything pre-production has to be pre-planned. It's just military style. If you have a strategy, you have the script, you have to go with it. Okay. What the audience see that night and what you're able to give that night on the night of performance is what they get.
But the language of stage is very, very unique and peculiar that the people in the audience may not even understand. They don't even know that you speak a particular language.
Exactly.
They just see and hear your performance, but they don't know that every movement is a language.
Yes, it's a
Tell
language.
us about that.
Because you have, for instance, if this was my stage, that's right wing and this is left wing. Okay, you're on the left side of the stage, you're on the center side of the stage, and I'm on the left side of the stage. So if, for instance, if we're making a mistake now, I could just say, oh, you're supposed to be on your right. We just crisscross back, you know. And the audience doesn't know. They just see that we made a movement. But you placed wrongly. Maybe backstage, you went here when you're supposed to go to stage left. So on the rooster there will probably be entrance and exit for everybody. Actor 1, actor 2. So if we're dancing now, and you're on the wrong side, let's say actor 5, you're supposed to move to stage 17, and you just move because you know the movement. You know, that's what it is. And that's how come you have one shot and one shot only. You're like a battalion on that stage.
So the people, while you are making a mistake on stage, the audience has no clue.
No clue. Sometimes you take page 55 and you put it to page 45. It is when you are running the line and you say, Balogun, did you not mean to say that the boy could have died from sunrise? You are reminding him of his lines. Did you not mean to say? And the audience, they will not know. They say, yes, that's what I meant to say. Come here, say, thank you for reminding me. The boy could have died last night, right? And you gradually go back to form and you continue. That's how it is.
So, well, now you know how they deceive you.
A lot of creativity.
Now you know how they deceive you.
You got to be prepped.
Stage, you have to do all this.
What?
When I did stage, we didn't do all this.
Oh, well, it depends on the...
That's what... I was 18 years old at the time.
Exactly. Look at that. It depends on...
There were no computers to start with.
Oh, we don't have... I mean, I left school since 2010 and we didn't have computers. No, I'm not going to know. It is so funny. Me, in fact, me compare, man.
Almost school, I'm actually buying now. Thank you very much.
I was just saying, even after 2010, there were no computers.
Oh, there were 2010. There were.
You can't read lines with computers. There's no way. So it's either you're on stage,
teleprompters.
You can't. It's not for stage acting. You just model it up. Nobody's going to wait for that line or for the teleprompter to come up. You got to have it up here or you don't.
Tell us quickly
about... You have prompters backstage?
No, you don't. No, you don't. The prompters you have are exit and entrances.
We had prompters in those days.
See, ma'am, you were luckier than
we had prompters.
You were luckier than I was.
No, those prompters were they're extra pay. But now, economy, I've taken them off.
Wow, I didn't know you had to go to that angle.
So tell me about your work in comedy.
I mean, so... As it is, I would tie back to what he was saying earlier about the pristine of the culture of comedy, stage, theater going, and every other thing has drastically gone down, I think, since the 90s. And this has largely to do with security, basically. I don't think people would love to go to National Theatre now for a 10 p.m. theater production as they would back in the 60s or the 70s.
Just even because in the 80s and 90s.
Even in the 80s, just because of where it is located and the security challenges, traffic challenges around that area. But my work in comedy has spanned every comedian basically that you find in Nigeria, want to transit to become an MC. Which necessarily shouldn't be, because if you're a stand-up, you should be able to do shows, tours,
except basket
back to back, except basket mouth and probably Bovi, right? And it's taking basket mouth to be basket mouth before you can say, see, I don't want to do, this is what I want to do. It shouldn't necessarily be, if you're good, if you're funny, if you have the wit, there should be some sort of system.
Seamless transition.
Yeah, transition. I'm a comedian. I'm not necessarily an MC, right? But because I came in from stage, right? It's easy for me to juggle.
Everything for you, everything is a performance.
Yes, it's a performance. The art forms literally for me. I have monologues in place sometimes, and if it's a funny monologue, for instance, it's stand up in that way. And people just see the performance. They don't know whether it was scripted or not, and so that work.
Is a lot of it scripted?
A lot of what now? Stand up?
Yes.
For people who know the art form well, yes. It is scripted. My show tomorrow is scripted. I've done
you have a
4
show
rehearsals.
tomorrow?
Yes, I do. I do have a show tomorrow called These Are the Issues.
These are the these are the issues.
The spirit was leading you. Yes, it is scripted. So you know what you want to say. You know how you want it to end. You know the first line.
You know your running order.
I know my running order of the materials that I want to run through. Yeah, because just as a text, you want to go from beginning, create the conflict, have a climax, and boom, out. Whereas you want to leave them with a cliffhanger, whatever it is.
For those who didn't do stage, for people like Forever who did engineering,
but I mean, Forever is my friend. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, will he also have to construct his jokes?
Yes, Forever does. Forever is my very good friend, and he does. By the way, happy birthday, Forever. Today's Forever's birthday.
Happy birthday, Forever.
You see, Forever. You see, say nobody come TV wish you. Now maybe the first person, just they take her now, they note your real friends there. You understand now? Now let me go back to what I was saying. Ishokuna.
See the way he switches the accent.
Come on, he's an
Well, he's a performer.
You know, so basically, Forever scripts. So I know, if you've attended any Forever show, he knows where the joke and the punchline, the setup and the punchline comes, and he does that. And that's why you're timed. If Forever tells you this performance is 50 minutes, because he's rehearsed it, it's 50 minutes. Yeah.
So, tell us, almost every comedian now wants to have a show.
Is what I was saying about system. I don't necessarily want to have a show. Okay.
But you had one where you called the former president over the phone. Are you calling this president
Can we
as
not
well?
talk about that on this show? Tori, I want to be safe.
As I was saying, you called the former president over the phone. You
I was
put
just
it on
wishing him
Instagram.
well. Yes, I was just wishing him well about his post-retirement life.
You called Baba Boo Boo.
Okay, have you called this president?
You've got guts.
This new one, I wait for him after 4 or 8 years.
Okay, so who are you calling?
Tomorrow.
Yes.
I think I want to call Dame Patience Jonathan.
Call her now.
I should call her?
Yes.
Dame Patience Jonathan. Yes. If she pick it, then you
she has picked the call now.
Hey, hello, ma. Yes. Aku Jameta. No, Igbo man in Lagos, Lone Sir. Yes. Okay. Hey, I'm very fine, ma. Ma, I miss you. No, the new first lady. I've not heard any official speech from her. Yes. If it were you, I would have had. Yes, ma. No, I did not say anything like that, ma. No, I'm not making you. I fear God. Yes, there is God, I know. That's why I'm saying that. No, I'm concerned Timothy missing. You know, normally you would have given speeches about the many things that are going on in the country, ma. Yes. There were elections yesterday or the day before in Liberia, ma. Yes, him didn't win. Him didn't win. Another person have won. If they have done like that for your husband, I need to go, ma, I'm on TV. Him no need cheeky. I cut the line.
You cut the line on the former first lady.
Yes, that's why former is there, ma. That's why former is there.
So, you have 10 seconds. Your show tomorrow is
at Alliance Française. Alliance Française. To
Alliance Française.
Alliance Française. English, mon fils. Alliance Française. At the Center.
What time?
7 p.m. 7 for 7, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Kukoyi.
Yes. I like your name. Very nice surname. Kukoyi.
Tomiwa Sage.
Yes.
Tomiwa Kukoyi.
Yes.
AKA Tomiwa Sage, not AKA.
Thank you very much for coming on Sunrise this morning. We wish you all the best at your show tomorrow.
Thank you.
And that brings to a close our show for today. We were very happy bringing it to you, and we look forward to bringing you another edition next Saturday. I'm Alera Edu, wishing you all the best.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Tamiwa, the rap.
Yes, ma'am.
You think I forgot?
Blessed. You be looking stressed. Lagos be taking a bit of what is left. But you know, if you stay on Sunrise Daily, Sunrise Weekly, whatever Sunrise meets you, then that's the day you got to cherish, because God is great.
Bye-bye.
They swore an oath to serve our fatherland and defend the people. They traded their freedom, comfortable homes, and mortgaged their lives on the battleground for our unity and peaceful living. These are the great, loyal, and committed Nigerian armed forces who risked their lives courageously to safeguard our borders. But in the line of duty, many never returned. Nigerians, arise, let's celebrate our fallen heroes. Put on the remembrance emblem to support the incapacitated and families of our fallen heroes.
We owe a debt of gratitude to our gallant troops who have risen to the challenge of securing this great nation.
All ministries, parastatals, religious and corporate bodies to donate generously to the Emblem Appeal Launch. Send your donations to these accounts. Account name, Emblem Appeal Launch. Account number 393-200-7526. Ecobank Nigeria PLC.